I know this guy Will has created 6 films in 6 years. How the hell does one do that?
How long does it normally take to make one film?
Usually Hollywood takes like 3 years. Yeah, the goal for me is just to make 9 films in 9 years and then decide if I'm going to still do independent filmmaking. When a drunk driver kills an innocent person, do we blame and ban the car manufacturer or do we arrest the drunk driver for drunk driving? Yeah. When I showed Trailer 2, it went insane. Fox, ABC, Pix 11, they wanted a piece of it. They're like, what is this? What do you got? I said, well, it's controversial. I said, and they wanted it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. Today, we are in the studio with Wilfred LaSalle, ex-correctional officer, movie producer, director, and actor, and owner of LaSalle Productions. What's up, brother? Welcome to the Burn Down.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Was that a good, nice little?
Dude, okay.
That was great.
Now that normally doesn't happen. Eric doesn't nail on the first try. Usually, there's usually a couple of.
I usually get like a little fouled up.
Yeah, you got it.
I worked hard on that.
No, that was good.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was
so
good.
welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You got it, brother. You came from Westchester, a little bit of an hour and a half drive.
From Westchester.
I know.
Yeah.
He still thinks it's called upstate, but as
No.
you know,
I do not. I say it's not upstate.
You're on this side now.
No, I was never on that side.
I thought you were.
No, because I'm a big upstate guy, like Saratoga Springs, Adirondacks.
Oh, yeah, that's far.
Upstate.
That's upstate.
That's upstate. Because I went to school upstate, which is Rochester, New York, which is more like Western New York, but that's upstate. So I had, and he was like, "Oh, I'm moving to Westchester," and people were like, "Oh, are you upstate?" Like, no. Even my buddy lives in Ossining. He's like, "Yeah, we moved upstate." I go, "No, you're not upstate."
That's not upstate.
I was like, "You're still within an hour from the city, okay? I'm closer to you're closer to the city than I am, okay?
Yeah.
You're 45 minutes, I'm an hour, and you're saying no, you're not upstate."
That's funny.
Once you get like up into the Catskills, okay.
Are you from Westchester or in the Bronx?
No, I'm originally from the Bronx.
Okay. Yes. What did I see? Over by Boston Post Road over there, right?
I grew up in the projects, man.
Oh,
you grew up in the projects.
I grew up in the projects, man. 181st and Bryan Avenue, where the Bronx Zoo is.
Okay. Yeah.
Lambert houses. I grew up right in those projects across the street from the zoo.
And my great-grandfather used to live right by the Bronx Zoo over there.
Probably the nicest side.
I was a little kid. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. It's changed.
It was a old school Italian family, but
they probably lived by Arthur Ave on the other side.
Probably. I mean, they passed away when I was like 6 or 7, so I just remember going to the Bronx Zoo ever. But, all right, so how long have you lived in the Bronx? Your whole life?
My whole life.
Okay.
Bronx native, baby.
Yeah.
Bronx boy.
Yeah, man.
He's a Bronx bomber.
Yeah, there you go. So is that considered South Bronx or no?
More north.
Yeah?
I'm more north. Yeah, I would say. South is like when you get down to like 135th Street.
Sure. Okay. Now I know what you're
Willis
talking about.
Avenue.
I know nothing of that area.
Of the Bronx,
You're
yeah.
I'm an island kid.
Yeah, you're a Long Island boy. I'm both now. I'm a Long Island boy, but now I'm a Westchester. I call it a Westchesterian. You know?
I'm an island boy, but a mountain man at heart.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like upstate. That's why I'm getting a tattoo of mountains. Like I want to be up there, man. Throw me up in the mountains with pine trees and leave me the hell alone.
So as far as I know, this guy Will has created 6 films in 6 years.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
How the hell does one do that?
Yeah, that's I don't people that don't know, like, that's ridiculous. How long does it normally take to make one film?
Usually Hollywood takes like 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's done 6.
And you have a new movie coming out, premiering this week or no, next week.
Next week.
The Security Guard.
Yep, The Security Guard. Yeah, the goal for me is just to make 9 films in 9 years and then decide if I'm going to still do independent filmmaking. But realistically,
now, what made you think 9 and 9? Like, why not 10 and 10?
It's weird. Everyone always asks me that. But you know what? So I've done, by that point, I've already had Hilo II, Hilo III, Graves, Oculus, Security Guard. The next film to move forward after Security Guard is Veteran. Then it's Lucy, which is about autism. And then it's Gravestone, which is a prequel to my 2022 film called Graves. I'm kind of done with it after that. I don't like, a lot of people are like, well, you can't retire, you can't leave. But I said, listen, there's so many things I want to do. Like, I want to make a documentary. I want to create a podcast. I want to write a book. If I continue to do the same thing over and over, it's like Michael Jordan, right? When he had his 6 rings, it's like he walked away. It was it. There was nothing more he had to prove, right? 9 films in 9 years, never before been done with no budget. I just saw the Grammys. I forgot what that film was. It was $6 million budget. What film was that? They just won.
I saw you post about it.
I congratulate them, but $6 million budget and they won an Oscar. We do these films with no budget. Like, I have no budget. Like, I'm filming it, I'm directing it, I'm producing it. The actors that are in it are doing the sound. We have no crew. Like, you're looking at the crew here.
Yeah.
You're a one-man shop?
One-man shop.
Essentially?
But the cast does help out. Like, when they're not in scenes, it's really no budget. And then when you see the films, it looks like we have a $90 million budget.
They're very I mean, at least I saw the security guard, and it was very clean cut. Like, it looked very well put together.
Now, what do you film? You have like a full camera setup? Like, what do you?
So I use a Sony A7 III. And then it's funny because I ended up buying all this camera equipment, right? It's like $10,000 worth of camera equipment. My wife's going to kill me when she knows that number, but that's all right.
We'll cut that part out.
No, keep it in.
Bleep amount of dollars.
She doesn't probably
$100 worth of equipment.
A bleep amount of dollars. Yeah.
So I came home and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm ordering all this stuff. I'm like, I'm going to make movies. She goes, you're out of your mind. Like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, this is 2019. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to start making films. This is what I want to do. Fast forward, we made my first film called Hilo in 2020. We released it. And then during the pandemic, we filmed Hilo II, Graves, Hilo III, Oculus, and now Security Guard. So 6 films in 6 years.
So what's with the theme of just the one word? Is that something that correlates with all your movies? Like, all movie titles have one word.
Honestly, it was just like something I came up with. Like, I've always liked the name Hilo. I was like, all right, you know what? Hilo's actually a town in Hawaii, and they don't actually have a police department. They're the only, like, Oahu, Honolulu, they all have police departments. I was like, you know what? I like the name Hilo. Some people pronounce it Hilo, but I was really like, all right, I'm going to make this film. This vision came to me. Then Graves was something I was like, all right, I'm going to make this film called Graves. I don't know. I just like the names. It's just weird. Like Oculus, it's just, I don't know. It's just something that comes to me. But The Security Guard is a really personal film to me because it's about my life as an NYPD School Safety Agent. And a lot of the things you're going to see in the film with the character Omari Russell have happened to me in my life. So it's really personal.
So there's a part from the trailer was like the school shooting.
That didn't happen to me.
Okay. All right. I was going to say.
That didn't happen to me. But like him at the stop sign when he's like, it's a stop sign, not a
Coke
sign.
Yeah.
I used to yell at people when I was working regular security.
Yeah.
You know, no one respects a security guard. They're like, this guy's low skilled. Whatever. You know, whatever. I'm not listening to him. He's not a real cop.
Sure.
Right? I'm sure that what's that TikTok? You're not a real cop, boy. You know, I don't know if you watch that. But like, you think of that when you think of a security guard. And it's just like I used to like yell at people. I'm like, there's kids crossing. Like, it's a stop sign, not a Coca-Cola sign. So that actually came from that. So I wrote that into the script and the actor used that. And it was just funny. I just thought it was
that is funny to say that. It's
you know,
not a Coca-Cola sign.
So how did you go? So you said you're NYPD correctional officer?
No, it was NYPD School Safety Agent.
School Safety?
So what they are is they're like school police in New York City public schools. Across the 5 boroughs.
Okay.
So you have the NYPD police officers and then you have NYPD School Safety Agents. A lot of people look at school safety agents as the minor leagues in the department because they don't have firearms. It's predominantly Hispanic and African American, the job. But it's viewed as low skill. Like, oh, you're not a cop, you don't have a gun, you have a flashlight. But people don't realize the work that we do, right? We deal with scanning, metal detection. We have kids coming in. We confiscate weapons. We do arrests just like a cop.
Yeah.
We write summonses. A lot of people don't see that. What they see is, oh, he's not a cop, he's school safety. Then I became a New York City correctional officer.
Why don't they? I always wondered this. Why don't, like, if we protect, you know, our biggest cities and we protect the White House, we protect our borders with weapons, why don't we protect the schools? Like, for instance, you're a school safety officer, right? Why don't you have a weapon?
Well,
like, why, you know,
here's the
people
thing.
are trying to, and then again, go into the school shooting things. Like, people are going, I always said, do you think, I'm going off on a rant, but
no, it's great.
Do you think that, like, one of my, and I don't know if this is possible, but one of my things was like, okay, the people protecting the schools. Like, if we protect our president and we protect our nation with weapons, why don't we protect our children with weapons, okay? Now, if you're a criminal and they go, oh, well, this is a gun-free zone, there should be no guns allowed on on the premises. They go, if you're a criminal and you see a property that says gun-free and then you see a property that says armed guards beware, which one do you think you're going to enter? If you're going to go into the one that has armed guards? No, you're going to go to the one that says gun free because you know there's nothing there.
Right.
So I'm like, and that's our schools.
Right.
So why don't you have an officer on every entrance? And if you don't have people to do the personnel, we got so many veterans that are coming over from armed forces that are retired that are looking for a job and they're on the streets. They have no job. Run them through a mental check. If they pass the mental check and they don't have any PTSD or anything like that, they're trained with firearms.
Or even retired. Like
retired NYPD. If they're trained, if everything checks out, give them their weapon and say protect these children at all costs. Why not?
Yeah, 100% of what you're saying is actually in the film. So in the film, all of that stuff is discussed. So speaking on the film's standpoint, we have the Republican side, we have the Democrat side, right? So regardless of where you swing politically, regardless if you're a far left liberal Democrat or you're a far conservative right conservative, it doesn't matter. The film goes down the middle, and we discuss both sides. That is discussed in the film. All these controversial topics that no one wants to touch on, I decided to touch on them, and the film is highly controversial. It's I'm either going to be the most hated man in America or the most loved man in America. So
it's like that.
That's how serious it is, and that's why I want you guys to see the film, because it's 2 hours and it's going to leave you absolutely speechless when you see these political scenes. They are raw, they're uncut. Both sides are arguing. There's one point I wrote in the script where the Republican Party, they say, when a drunk driver kills an innocent person, do we blame and ban the car manufacturer, or do we arrest the drunk driver for drunk driving?
Yes.
That's an analogy we go with the right. Now on the left, they're saying, well, we want to ban assault weapons. We want mental health checks. They believe that guns are solely the issue. The Republicans are saying we don't want you to infringe on our Second Amendment rights. We're saying that, guns don't kill people, people kill people. So all of those different standpoints, I mean, regardless of what you are, you could be an independent, right? Which the film goes down the middle. But if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, it's gonna leave you debating. I would be surprised if people are watching this film and not debating as they're watching these scenes.
Yeah,
I also feel like, and again, it's funny because we said like we don't talk politics, right?
For the film,
you're saying, but I feel like it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Everybody can agree that you should protect the children, protect the
and that's what it's about.
Schools.
That's what it's about. It's about. Here's the reality of this film. There are no happy endings in a school shooting, regardless of where you stand, right? The children are left behind. Parents are burying their children. This is what it is. Regardless of where you swing on how you feel about guns, whatever it is, that's why I made this film. It was like almost my duty and obligation to make this film as a former NYPD School Safety Agent. So it's controversial, man, and it's going to rattle people, especially the parents. People are going to be in tears watching this. I tell people this all the time. I'm going to be handing out security guard logo napkins at the premiere because people are going to cry. People are going to debate. People are going to feel.
I don't know if I want to watch it.
It's gonna trigger a lot of people in different ways. It's gonna really, when you see the political scenes, you're gonna be like, yeah. I won't be surprised if you see the people who are Democrats cheering for the Democrats but again, it's supposed to unite people, right?
It's supposed to, yeah.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. And the point is, I don't want to divide people with politics. I want to unite them. But in order to do that, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We have
the more
to discuss.
things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
Well,
concept.
no, I think I think that,
concept.
like I said, everybody, doesn't matter. You can agree that
Right.
That we should protect the children, and that's a good analogy where it's just like where you said, okay, a drunk driver, do you blame the car or do you blame the drunk driver? It's like the person, the car doesn't just drive itself.
Correct.
Somebody has to operate it.
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
And the other thing too is when they talk about, oh well, we got to ban this and ban that and ban that, and I go, okay, but criminals, do you think that if they're going in to shoot a school, do you think they're getting their weapons? You think they care if they get their weapons legally or not?
Right.
They're going to find them regardless. Like cocaine is illegal. People still do it.
Yeah.
Right? Methamphetamines and fentanyl, all that stuff is illegal.
But people still
find it on the
street. They find a way to do it.
You know what I'm saying? So if just because you make it illegal doesn't mean it's going to stop. People are going to find their shit where they're going to figure. They're going to find it off the black market.
Yeah.
So it's like.
That's where we wanted to go. We wanted that. We wanted to have people have these real conversations. And honestly, when I filmed the political scenes in particular, a lot of the actors and actresses who were involved in that were very, what I would say was that we had talks because I had to tell them, listen, this is where we're going to go. Regardless if you're playing this character and you don't agree with his ideology, let me know because I need you to be that character.
I need to be
even if you're not a Democrat at heart,
yeah.
I need you to play this Democrat the way you're going to play him. I need you to play this
Republican.
Republican.
It's called acting.
It's acting, right? It's an art.
Acting.
It's incredible, man. Let me tell you something. When I showed this trailer, so I'll tell you, when I showed trailer 2, it went insane. Insane. Fox, ABC, Pix 11, they wanted a piece of it. They're like, what is this? What do you got? I said, well, it's controversial. I said, and they wanted it because people want.
Controversial's good.
It's good because it gets people talking about the situation. Like I put these clips up on my TikTok Instagram. People start debating on them. They're like, yeah, man, this.
Well, and that drives traffic.
It drives traffic, but it also creates that conversation.
It creates a conversation.
It's like, okay, listen, we can agree to disagree. You may not like whatever you're going to see. You may not like it, but let's come together on some kind of agreement and agree that our children are left behind.
Yeah.
Let's not have these parents bury these children anymore.
Yeah, let's first start, like, we need to protect the children.
Right.
Now, how do we do that?
How do we do that, right?
I wanted to go back to what you said, because I've never heard someone say the more you want change, the more things stay the same. What do you mean by that? Because that's a pretty interesting perspective.
It's just the more history always has a tendency to repeat itself. So for me, it's more like the more we want change, the more things are always going to stay the same.
People
because
resist the change.
we talk about change, right? We talk about this particular topic of guns, where they're placed in society, where they're placed in schools, and then the next news story comes out, and then we forget about it. Or there's another
nothing's happened.
Or for instance, I'm trying to get on CBS and NBC, right? And I'm basically telling them, like, is it going to take another mass school shooting for you to want to cover this story about the security guard? Because that's what we've become a reactive society, not a proactive one, right?
Sure.
We've become more reactive, like, okay, well, this is school shooting. Maybe we should talk about firearms. Maybe we should talk about gun safety. Maybe we should talk about our children being left behind. Maybe we should talk about what we should do, right? You got a lot of things that go on, and you got teachers caught in the middle. So you got kids, parents. So the film is going to really dive into all of this. So like parents are either going to say, hey man, you got to see this film. Like it's going to trigger a lot of different people and a lot of different emotions. But I always said, it takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to make a film like this. Again, I don't know where the film's going to go, but I know it's going to go viral very quick. And like I said, I'm either going to be hated or loved. Either way, the film
goes. Better be feared or loved.
I mean, either way, I feel like you're going to be both.
Yeah,
you're going to be both.
Depending on what their beliefs are. I mean,
exactly.
It's going to be either I hate this guy or I love him for making the film, or none of it. I mean,
you're bringing light to a topic that, like you said, kind of, and I don't want to say it gets overlooked.
It does.
But it
does. It kind of does.
Say it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
But
right?
it does.
Like these are children, right? Like my firm belief is like, why again? If we protect our White House, we protect these people with weapons. Why don't we protect our children? Like these are children.
Those are the future.
Okay,
right.
This is the future of our country. We don't protect them with. We just put up a sign that says gun-free zone and hope that helps. Yeah. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't do shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That doesn't do anything. Okay, that's like putting up a sign that says "Do not steal" at the store. And people like
steal it.
People are still gonna fucking steal. Like,
well, the issue is they put a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound, and I think that
they didn't fix anything.
Right.
That's what you said with the change. Like people, they're wanting change. They want change. And all they want to do is discuss the change, but they don't actually want to change.
Nobody.
It's the same thing. Like here you go, perfect example, right? Where if you have somebody that's like that's trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
And they want to get in shape, and they want to get in shape. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to research this, and this is the diet plan. I'm going to start doing that. And next thing you know, 6 months have gone by. They haven't started their diet yet. Wow. They've been doing all this research of this is the plan. I got to get this. I got to buy this protein. I got to do, and they haven't done anything. So they want all this change, and they're looking at doing all of these things, but then 6 months gone by, and they're still the same overweight person. They haven't done anything.
Right.
Now, before before you made the security guard, were you always passionate about gun violence? Because it seems like you have or protecting.
So
I'm trying to blow it.
No. Here's the thing.
He smells really good, so I'm not trying to get the cigar smoke.
Here's the thing. Being a former New York City correction officer, I have a past career in law enforcement. But to me, it's not more about gun violence. It's more about bringing light to the situation of the security guard, which is the ordinary man story. No one cares about the ordinary man. No one cares about the postal worker, the construction worker, the bodega owner. No one cares about his story. And when you think of a security guard, you think of an unskilled, all right, well, he makes $15 an hour. He's overweight. He's sleeping at the desk. He's on his phone. I wanted to change the narrative. And to do that was to use the fact that I was an NYPD School Safety Agent, and gun violence affects everyone, right? Regardless of where you are politically, again, whether you think that more guns equal more violence, or you think that, gun laws don't do anything. They only empower the criminal and disempower the citizens. You have to start looking at things as a whole. But to me, if I was going to make a film like this, it had to be controversial, and it had to start these kind of conversations where people are like, wait a minute, Like it explores everything: gun violence, school shootings, the teacher's perspective, the politicians lobbying for whatever they want, whatever their agenda is, the kids being left behind. The film is an emotional roller coaster. The film it was made to trigger people, but to also unite.
But you have to do that though, because you have
yeah.
to be controversial, because what it does is now people that they're either gonna agree with it now I imagine there's both parts to it, right? You said there's both sides.
It goes down the middle. We don't cater to any political party. We explore both, and
Right.
the audience is left with whatever they feel it is. It's not, there's stats that at the end of the film you'll have stats of whatever happens, and that those stats are actual related sources of what has happened, and you have to make a determination whether you're a parent. You're a parent. You just became a father.
Yeah.
So what you need to understand
I'm
is,
homeschooling.
and you know what's crazy?
I'm homeschooling.
And I'm not a parent. Are you a parent?
Yeah.
You're a parent. You guys are both parents. So ultimately, you're training your replacements. Your children are your future. You want to protect them, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm homeschooling.
I mean, it becomes very personal, especially to parents when you're talking about these sensitive topics, because everyone has an opinion on it. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, whether you're a politician, no matter what, the media, you have an opinion on. When you drop that kid off at school, your kid should not have to worry about if a gunman's going to come in one day and shoot them while they're hiding underneath the desk and the lights are off. Like it's sick.
I can't even
it's sick.
I can't even think about that. It's like
It's nerve wracking. It's
I
the
mean,
biggest
I
fear.
remember, I remember in public. I remember being in high school. We would do the drills. This is a test. Underneath the desk, lock the door. Blah 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 blah. And I would always be like, man, I hope this really never fucking happens ever. Like
I don't think anyone's prepared for it. I think that again, like.
I don't think schools are like
equipped for it.
They're not, especially.
And
how much can you do by hiding in a classroom, hiding behind a door?
Well, the thing is, so what the whole point of lockdown drills is they turn off the lights and they basically are out of sight, hiding. So they're assuming when the gunman's coming in, they speculate that when he's going to enter, he's looking quickly. If he doesn't see anything, he won't go in there. But what's to stop him from blowing the door handle open when he got with the AR-15 or whatever it is?
They should give every teacher a freaking handgun in your desk.
The film explores that as well.
Put all the kids in the corner, and the teacher looks at the door like this. Anybody comes in, bang.
But here's the thing: a lot of teachers, they don't want to be armed. They're saying, I came here to teach. I got to have a firearm now. It's so.
Or you put like I said, you should put an armed guard at every entrance to the school, and there's nobody in or out.
Well, see, New York City has school safety agents. They're not armed, but we have scanning.
You should be.
Right. So if someone does come inside to the school,
you can't. What are you
going
going to do?
Has there been any school shootings in New York City public schools?
No, there's never been an active shooter in New York City.
Yeah,
there's been shootings outside and stuff like that, but no active shooter to date. And the film explores that has ever entered. Thank God.
I would like to think
a New York
because
City
of
school.
the New York NYPD school agents.
Well, we're a deterrent. You're looking at schools in the urban areas, like the 5 boroughs. In the roughest areas, you have scanning. Mostly every public school in New York City has metal detectors, like an airport.
My sister, it even goes out onto Long Island, because my sister used to be a teacher at Roosevelt.
In the Bronx?
No, Roosevelt High School is in Nassau County.
Okay, yeah, they have Roosevelt.
And Roosevelt, so that's what I'm saying. You said the 5 boroughs, but it even comes out into Nassau County, into Long Island, where Roosevelt, and I think even some of the other ones like West Hempstead, maybe some of the rougher areas in Nassau County have metal detectors.
All the way out east. I went to Sachem, Holbrook.
You had it?
Exit 63 off the LIE. My high school, we had metal detectors.
Yeah, we didn't have it.
Did you have cops, resource officers, anything like that?
I mean, cops every once in a while would you'd see Suffolk County cops pull up to the school, but it was the security guards were mostly retired and cops, but
what if you had, okay, let's say you have a school, right? And let's say it's my school was 2 floors, there was about 1,000 kids in the school. We graduated 250 or something. So let's say it's 1,000 kids in the school, 2 floors. You have a main entrance in the front. You have a side entrance. You have entrances on there's 2 on here, 2 on there, 1 over there, right? So you have 6 entrances.
Right.
You put an armed guard at every entrance, right? Armed guard every entrance, metal detector at every entrance, okay? And you can't, if you want to come into the school, in and out of the school, you can't just walk, if you're not a student, or you're not faculty, you can't just walk into the school.
I agree.
You have to call ahead. You have to sign in, right? And be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Here's my license. I'm coming to pick up my kid. I can.
Well,
all right.
They do that now.
You have to check. You can't just walk in.
No, you can't. But here's the thing. With the resources in New York City public schools and in the schools I've worked in, they have 2 scanning entrances. Then they have the doors that are alarmed with like an alarm. Like if you push past the exit door, the alarm will go off. So it goes off. Like that's what they have because they don't have the manpower to man every exit. Some schools are so huge you can't put one by the exit doors.
What do you think? I'm curious now. Like, what's the number of, like, how many veterans do we have in the country? Now, let's say, I don't know, between the ages of, like, what like 40 is usually you can come out of the armed forces?
I
before that?
I don't know. I don't know too much about it.
So I'm curious, is like how many, because you said, like, obviously it's resources, okay? Like, how many schools are in America? I don't know. There's got to be hundreds of thousands of schools, okay? Right. Now, granted, so you'd probably have to think about in certain areas you may not need it, like if you're in a
well, here's the thing.
A higher class area. It's a private school or something, maybe.
Here's the thing. We have a false sense of safety in society where a lot of people, right, your idea of, all right, let's arm the schools. But there's politics to that. Parents don't want that. Parents don't want their kids subjected to that. They're saying, we don't want that. We don't want our kids seeing armed guards. That becomes the issue. My wife's a teacher. I can tell you that. It's like, no, at the board meeting, we don't want that. That's sending the wrong message. We're not a school like that. It can't happen here. And that's the issue where people think it can't happen there, right? Oh, no, it's a good school. It's a good area. That's where it happens.
But that's where it happens. That's what I'm saying. Because if you're a guy who's trying, like, if you're a criminal who's trying to do, like, wants to do something like that, and you go to the thing and they're going to
go to the most vulnerable schools.
They're going to go to the most vulnerable school. Just like if you're trying to rob a bank, you're going to go to the one with the least amount of security. If you're trying to rob a store, you go with the least amount of security.
Yeah.
Like you go on a Tuesday when there's nobody there. Like,
I don't think people want to face that reality.
The parents, some parents are saying, I don't want my kids are too young. I don't want my kids to see cops and, But again,
but then they're gonna let them play like Call of Duty, where they're little killing.
Oh, this is
shooting up people left and right and watching how many movies.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Everyone wants change, but they don't. No, not that kind of change.
We don't want you to. See,
so it's like
we don't want you to see the security guard that has a weapon, but you can play Call of Duty until 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it just becomes something where if we want change, there's gonna have to come some level of compromise. No matter where you put it, no matter where you swing politically, there has to be some kind of compromise, or else it's not happening because we're going to continue to be married to our political beliefs. On I want this, I want that, and then what happens? Nothing gets done. Too political. There's politics, and then kids are left behind again.
Yeah, nothing changes. They want change, but nothing changes.
Nothing changes. Man.
Yeah, that's and I think that's the biggest thing. It's they don't want to believe, which is the wrong idea. Which is a wrong thinking process, that it can happen. Anything can happen to you, your mom, your son, anybody. Anything can happen to anybody. So to have that perspective, which I get, you don't want to expose your kids to a cop with a gun. I get it. Right. But what's the flip side of that? To know they might feel protected or scared, or if they don't have that, and something actually happens, then they're traumatized for life, and they go down that route. That's the talking points that you're discussing here. But.
Yeah, and the film explores everything from a parent's perspective to the teacher's perspectives. It's controversial. It's going to be like any teacher who watches the film, they're gonna be like, yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, yeah, we're thinking the same thing. Anyone who's a parent, they're gonna be thinking the same thing. If you're a Republican conservative parent, you're gonna be like, yeah. If you're a Democrat and you're a parent, you're gonna be like, yeah. It's just gonna be.
So did I show my cards with all my comments? Put a gun in every security guard.
I don't think it takes too much for people to understand where you go. Where you go, bro. I don't think it takes much.
I mean, listen. Again, it's just a point of like.
No, you're right.
What are we going
down the middle, and you're striking a conversation with.
You also don't want to lose people. You also want to bring people to the forefront, not kind of exile anyone with any political beliefs. That's why the film goes down the middle. I didn't want to cater to any political party, regardless of whatever my beliefs were. I'm going down the middle with this.
No, you have to.
You have
and
to.
then, like you said, like I was saying before, is you're trying to strike up a conversation, and either there's certain parts that you're gonna really agree with, and certain parts you're not gonna agree with on both sides of the fence.
Yes.
But what that's gonna do is the parts that whether you strongly agree or you strongly disagree, you're going to share it. Like, people are going to go on, they're gonna take a clip of the movie and be like, can you believe he fucking said this, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Or I'm sure that's going to be all over TikTok.
So
100%.
Now you put another clip and go, yeah, this is what they should do, right? And then it strikes. Now, those people are going to strike up conversations, and what does this do? It takes your message, takes your video, and it just exponentiates to all these people that are posting clips of
he sounds like my wife. My wife says that all the time. She goes,
And
that's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do. And I know 100% when the film is out, they're gonna take their bits and pieces or whatever they believe in. They're gonna put that, and that's what they're gonna run with. And
well, there's no way around it.
There's no way around it.
There's no way around it.
I have to be prepared for the hate.
Yeah.
I have to be prepared for whatever comes for that. My wife is terrified. When I told her I was making this film,
so this is the most controversial movie that you made.
It is the most controversial independent film ever made. Put it to you like that. Like it's going to make people be like,
I'm gonna try and push my wife to come.
I don't want to curse, but it's gonna be like that.
Yeah,
dare he put that in there?
Yeah,
what he did?
So
What?
So me being a numbers guy, I did the numbers quick.
Okay.
I did the numbers quick.
What we got? What numbers?
And we were talking about resources, right? So I said, how many schools are there in the United States? As of 2025, there are 115,000 schools. This includes public and private, K through 12, career and technical schools, and adult education. 115,000. Okay.
Not including college.
Well, it says and adult education, but
okay.
And career and technical schools. So
115,000 schools.
115,000 schools. So then I said, how many veterans are there in the United States? 15.8 million.
Okay. Wow.
Then I said, of the veterans, how many are unemployed? It says about 3% of veterans are unemployed. So 3% of 15.8 million is 475,000. So that means there's 4 times as many unemployed veterans as there are schools in America. So there's 4 unemployed veterans per school.
That's the next film moving forward too. A homeless veteran from Iraq. That's the next film after security.
Now,
guard.
granted, the unemployed veterans might be unemployed because there's a leg blown off and they can't do anything.
Right.
But what I'm saying is,
hire them. Right.
You're telling
That's
me
a
that
job.
You're telling me that if you came back from Iraq and let's say you were just like discharged or something, and let's say you had a bum knee and you couldn't do it, whatever, but you're checked out mentally, everything's fine, and you said, "Hey, I got a job for you." And trying to find work because veterans are they first off they don't get paid what they should get paid. They get the fucking shit end of this. They get run through the ringer, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And you have to put your life on pause to go basically almost sacrifice. Everything, right?
Yeah.
So you come back and tell this veteran, said, "Hey, I got a job for you. I'm gonna give you your gun back, and I want you to protect these kids at all costs." You think they'd be like, "Oh, absolutely not. I don't want to do that." They'd be like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah.
I'll protect these kids."
That's right. Because they fought for this country,
Yeah.
and that's we explore that in my film, The Veteran, which the trailer will be out, and we're gonna debut that in the first look at the security guard premiere.
You already shooting that?
We shot the trailer. We're shooting that in May. The script is being written, but I always film my trailers before.
You need actors?
I have the actors. Yeah, listen, it's.
You need a big German guy to play anything.
Listen, I welcome
you need a
anybody.
big German
Listen,
cigar smoking.
as long as you're willing to understand, a scene takes like 4 hours to film. Like something like this takes us 4.5, maybe 5 hours to just
you need
shoot
a big German guy stand there, smoke a cigar.
But no, listen. We can have all these different debates. Veterans, I think they get a bad stigma. Like, PTSD or this. You know how the stigma is.
Yeah.
But like I said, that may be a good point, right? And someone may say no.
Yeah, listen, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Someone may say that's a great point. Then someone on the left may say, hey, you know what, man? Nope. They have stigmas. They have PTSD. They're gonna think it's a war zone. They're gonna hear firecrackers. Whatever nonsense people may make up. They serve this country. I'm pretty sure they would want to protect our children.
Right.
But the point is that we want the change, but nobody, we don't take an action. We talk about it, we run circles around it, and then it's like, all right, well, there's another story about the Oscars. Let's talk about that, or let's talk about this, and the kids are left behind. Like, how many more?
It kind of reminds me of. Have you ever seen the movie? I think it's called Don't Look Up.
Never seen it. No.
I think it's called Don't Look Up. It's I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio, and he plays a scientist.
Oh, they just filmed that
I don't know. It's like maybe within the last 5 years or something, but it's called
the Obamas produced it.
It was I don't know.
Yeah, I think they produced it.
It was something like where there was scientists that they found like an asteroid.
Yes,
and the asteroid was
going
to wipe out the world.
It was a recent movie. It just came out.
And it was going to wipe out the world, and he was like trying to tell people about it, and nobody would take it. He's like, "I'm giving you this is going to happen."
I saw it.
Like,
I did see that.
Nah, we're not going to talk. That's what I feel like it reminds me of. It's
it just came out, right? If you look it up. I think they produced it. I think Michelle Obama.
I feel like that's what this reminds me of. It's like, hey, this is a real thing. Like we have to figure this out. And everybody's like, nah.
2 low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind for approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. Yeah, it came out 2021.
See?
Okay, so yeah.
So who produced it? It was
director Adam McKay, Jennifer Lawrence, Ariana Grande, Leonardo DiCaprio is in it, Timothy,
I know.
Meryl Streep. A lot of big actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's kind of the premise of like they have data and they're like, listen,
and
we have to have
it.
this conversation, but all these like big wigs are like, nah, I don't want to have that conversation. Just sweep that under the rug
because it doesn't fit the narrative.
It doesn't fit the narrative. You know?
That's how it is.
And that's what I'm like.
Listen,
I hate the narrative.
You know how many times I've reached out to the media and I was like, listen, I have this story about the security guard. Nah, I don't want to hear it. Stop emailing us. We don't want to hear about it. I said, what is it going to take? Another mass school shooting for you to want to hear about this? What does it not fit? Dude, I get so annoyed.
That's what they want.
I just get annoyed with it. I'm just like, listen, man. Like
a lot of the media likes negativity.
Yeah,
you know, stuff that draws eyes is violence and bad news and look at this person.
That's what they want, and it's like,
so that's,
like when's the last time you turn on the news and you saw
save a cat out of the tree?
Something positive.
No.
Like, you know, this guy found a cat on the side of the road and he saved the cat and gave. It turned out there was like kittens and he gave every kitten a home.
Oh, I've ripped on the shreds about it. I'm like, you guys won't cover anything positive. I mean, what's you know. But yeah, I mean, listen.
I don't even watch it anymore.
No, I don't watch news. But I mean, listen, it's gotten to the point where you look at things and you're just like, all right, well, you know, something's got to change here. Who's going to make this film? So I was like, all right, I'm going to make it. When I told my wife I was making this film, she was absolutely terrified. She's like, there's no fucking way you're making this film. I said, yeah.
Is your wife in any of the movies?
My wife will not be in any of my movies. She's my harshest critic.
All right, that's good.
But it's
As
good.
She should be.
But it's good because it helps me grow.
But I guarantee she's the harshest critic, but she's your loudest praiser, right?
She'll tell me if a film sucks. She'll tell me if she didn't think a performance was good. She thinks I'm a terrible actor, and I am a terrible actor. I have no business acting. I should be behind the camera. But I mean, yeah, she's honest. My wife is very honest. My wife just thinks that it takes a lot of time. Like a lot of the actors, they do their scenes and then they're gone. I'm stuck editing. I'm stuck promoting, doing everything. It takes a year to make my film. I'm 6 months shooting, 6 months editing.
Yeah,
a year to make one film. So, yeah, I mean, it's draining. I think that she sees every aspect of it: the beauty, the work, the time that she doesn't have a husband because the house is an office. You know, it's just what it is. But it's sacrifices that you make for something you love. And you know, I always said you don't have to be special to be successful. You just have to be what most people aren't, and that's consistent.
Do what most people don't want to do.
Yeah, I like that.
If you want to be what most people aren't, you have to do what most people won't.
Yeah, if you want something you've never had, you got to be willing to do something you've never done.
Yeah. So,
and everybody says, we're going to add another quote to that. They say it's impossible until somebody did it, right?
Yeah, always. Well, I live by 3 phrases. I'll tell you the 3 phrases.
I love it. Just keep throwing these in there.
I turn a negative into a positive. So if you look at the word no just means numerous opportunities. The word impossible, separate the word impossible. And last but not least, rejection is simply redirection.
That's
and then here's another one for you. Fear is false evidence appearing real.
I love that. That's great.
That's
I never heard that one.
That's a good. Yeah. That's
and then the other
my
one.
uncle told me I won a long time ago.
The other one that we had a guy on here, ex-Navy SEAL Ray Cash Care.
Okay.
He said in life there's W's and there's L's. There's wins and there's lessons.
Wins and lessons. I like that.
I was like, he goes, and it's only a loss if you didn't learn from it. Because if you learn from it, it becomes a lesson, and it's not a loss. Just don't do it again, right?
That's it.
And the other one is the other thing is like I think he said.
I like that. There's W. I'm going to take
there's W's and there's L's. There's wins and there's
Look him up. Ray Cash Care. He's a smart.
And then the other one is like you're only a failure if you stop trying.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So it's only like if you keep going and like you failed, it only really failed if you quit.
Yeah.
If you keep going, then you just haven't won yet.
Yeah.
You didn't fail.
100%.
You know, you just keep, you just learned what not to do. It's a lesson, right? It's not a loss. It's a lesson. Okay, now let's do something else. Let's do something. And eventually, it's a win. But when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, it's a bunch of little lessons, and then bang, there's a big win.
100%.
But if you stopped along the way, then it's a failure. Then you failed.
Yeah.
What of movie-wise? What are your favorite movies? What movies inspired you to be a director, a producer?
Let's go into that because
I got three movies and I'll put them in order and they're very easy. You've probably seen them.
Let's go.
Number 1 is Rocky IV.
Oh, love it.
Number two is 1994, The Crow, Brandon Lee's movie.
Really?
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
No,
never seen The Crow?
No.
Eric Draven and Shelley Webster was based on James O'Barr's story.
I've heard
his
of it,
wife,
but I haven't seen it.
his fiance was killed by a drunk driver. He went into depression and made this film. And it's Brandon Lee's last film. He was killed making this film. Bruce Lee's son.
Really?
Yeah, they shot him with a prop gun that had a shard, and they killed him.
Oh,
he died in South Carolina on the movie set. They called cut, and he was in a pool of blood, and they rushed him to the hospital. Brandon Lee.
What's this movie called?
The Crow, 1994. The Crow. It's that they made City of Angels. It's called The Crow. It's about Eric Draven and Shelley Webster. They're getting married on Halloween. These guys come in. They make him watch his wife get raped. It's almost like law-abiding citizen, and he comes back. The Crow pecks him, and brings him to life and gives him these powers, and he just goes on a rampage of killing these guys and goes after all of them.
Wow.
It's sick. It's one of the best movies I've ever
what's
seen.
the third? What's your third?
The Gladiator. Ridley Scott's Gladiator, man.
Did you see the second one yet?
Of course. It was great.
Was it?
Yeah.
Saw it twice.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's good.
It's great.
Is it better than the first one or no?
No, it's not
It's a
better.
good sequel.
It's a good sequel,
It's
though.
okay.
The only thing I wish is if he would have wore the Maximus helmet.
That would have been that.
That would have
That
killed
was
it,
missing
right?
the cherry on top.
I was like,
because
I always just, but like the first one, it's a great flick.
oh,
It's a
I
great
only-
flick.
the score, everything is great.
Dude, it's such
the
a
Gladiator.
great flick.
I've always watched the Gladiator as a kid, but I never actually watched it. Like it was always around. But
Yeah.
only like right before Gladiator 2 came out, I watched like 10 times because I'm like, this movie's so.
It's really
fucking
good.
You know what I like about? So I was listening
But two
to
is really good, too.
I was listening to Russell Crowe on I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about I love hearing about movie scenes. Like the behind the scenes of that wasn't really supposed to happen, but I did it that. So there was a scene I think of when he sees like his wife and kid have been killed, and he's like walking up to the where they were hanging, and they said that he wasn't he was just supposed to walk and look at them, and he goes, but he felt that he had to keep, so he kept going. And he went to like kiss their feet, and there was just like slobber like all over. And I don't know if you see it, but he kisses the feet, and like he pushes away, and there's like spit like all over, and he's just sobbing. And they said that he was supposed to stop. He goes, but I kept going to kiss these prop feet that are hanging. Yeah. And he goes, and the director was just like, cut. That's it. He goes,
yeah.
Don't
Oh,
that's
how it always happens.
That's
man.
it. He goes, that's done.
Let me tell you something. That's how the magic happens. I never restrict my actors. I always say the script is never the script. Whenever we film anything, the script is never the script.
It's a guideline.
Yep. It's a blueprint. It's really a blueprint. I give the actors a lot of freedom.
It's a blueprint.
It's a blueprint. and that's where the magic happens. Like we were filming Graves, my 2022 film, and the actor Charles Alonzo, we were in between takes. I had them actually drinking at my father-in-law's bar. He has a bar, and we were filming inside the bar, and the cinematographer was like, "You're really letting them drink?" I'm like, "Yeah. It's a LaSalle production. Let them drink. Fuck that."
The LaSalle production.
So he's
baby.
like, I'm like, anything goes. He's like, dude, you can't. This is not.
This
is not.
What I say goes.
This is not a SAG
Are you
production.
the producer? Are you directing? No, I am.
So they're drinking, and in between takes, I hear him talking, and he's saying, I drink, kill. I'm like, what did you say? He's like, no, I didn't say anything. So in between the scenes, I'm like, you're gonna use that for the film. So he tells his younger brother in the scene, we call action. He goes, Paolo. Italian mob. He goes, I drink, I fuck, and I kill. Was not even written,
and
we used it. It was fucking great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was iconic.
That's awesome.
Literally told him that.
I gotta go back.
There's a lot.
I gotta go back to your first movie, Rocky IV.
Rocky
so,
IV.
Rocky is in my top 3. Mine is Rocky, Goodfellas, and Forrest Gump.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was good.
Good, yeah,
right?
Goodfellas is probably.
So Rocky IV, when I was younger, used to be my favorite one, just because America, Russia, Drago.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's more really Rocky 1 and 2, or I teeter between. But why Rocky 4?
Because Rocky 4 is that Tommy Boys?
No, that's Tommy
Drago.
Morrison is Rocky 5.
That's Rocky 5.
Tommy
Rocky,
Gunn. No.
Rocky,
Tommy the Gun Morrison.
No one likes
Rocky
that one.
4 is
Drago.
It's
Drago.
Dolph Lundgren. It's Dolph Lundgren. It's Carl Weathers. I like Rocky 4 because Carl Weathers dies in that film. I thought that was really the catalyst for me. A lot of the soundtrack, the No Easy Way Out when he gets into the car, but one of the best scenes that I've ever seen and really resonated with me was when his wife tells him, "You can't win." Remember, she has that conversation with him. She says, "Right, you've seen him. You know how strong he is. You can't win."
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, Agent, I'm a fighter. That's what you married. We can't change what we are.
I'm getting chills thinking about it right now.
That's my wife, because my wife doesn't believe in what I'm doing. Like, she was just like, I think what you're doing is crazy. It's a hobby. To her, this is a hobby. To this is my life. Filmmaking's my life. It's not a hobby. I don't do this because it's a hobby. I do this because I love this. I genuinely love this stuff. Like, this is my life. It's all I think about. And you can see it in the work. And I attribute that to the fact of her telling me, like, why do you do this? There's so much drama involved. It's always this, always that with actors. And I'm like, listen, I love it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else but me. Mm-hmm. I don't. My dream does not have to make sense to you. You're not going to understand it. And not to knock on anybody, but a woman, my wife in particular, are never going to understand a man's passion, what we're passionate about. They can't understand it because they can't see it. But if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your heart. And what I truly believe is that this is my calling. This is what I was born to do. Like, it was just something that I just felt was in me, and I'm going to do it. And I do it like that. And it's just, she's just like, yeah, but money. I said, money's not everything to me. Money doesn't mean shit to me. Passion, creating art, immortalizing myself, immortalizing these actors in film. Like if you look at Patrick Swayze, he died, right? But if you want to watch Ghost, if you want to watch Roadhouse, if you want to watch Dirty Dancing, anything, he's immortalized. His youth is captured in that time zone. It's you capture those moments that you can't, like, it's like when you take videos of your children, you capture their age in that moment.
Yeah.
That's timeless. You can watch that 30 years and say, hey, look, you still have it. It's a piece of art. It's a piece of memory. That's how I look at film. A lot of people look at it very differently, but to me, it's not. I'm not just another independent filmmaker. I love this. This is my life.
This shit.
This is my, like, I get mad when I see other actors in bad films. I'm like, dude, why? Like, that's terrible. Like, I take the time, 6 months of editing, 6 months of shooting. I mean, meticulously doing 30 drafts of the film to make sure the film is perfect. The score. I mean, if you watch my films, if you get a chance, you'll see the growth, but you'll see the work.
Where can you watch your other films that are out?
They're on Apple TV. We're on Amazon Prime, Tubi. We're on.
Oh, you are on Tubi.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I'm trying to get away from that right now. We just solidified a big deal. I can't announce what it is, but I will announce it at the premiere. We secured a big distribution deal that's going to change the face of indie filmmaking.
Nice.
Never before been done. We're going to be working with NBC, which owns Peacock. We're working to get a distribution deal with them, and Paramount Plus through CBS.
So on Amazon Prime. All right, cool.
Yeah, we're on Prime. We're on Tubi. I hate to say it's another Tubi movie because we get bad raps because you got a lot of bad movies on there.
I don't. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you can see them on there.
You're most people can't even fathom to be on Tubi. You're on Tubi, so
thank you, man.
It's don't listen to anybody. But where did this passion
Did you always want to be?
Did you just wake up one day and be like, motherfucker, I'm gonna make these goddamn movies?
You know, it's funny. I've always loved film, and I used to sit in front of the TV and watch Rocky IV and watch all these movies. I was obsessed with that, and there was always something in me that wanted to like do it. But I always felt like I needed someone else's permission to actually pursue my dream. Like almost like, all right, get a pension, get your benefits, get a good job, make sure you have a union. You always told those things, right? To me, it was outside the norm because it was more like, well, you know what? I want to do this. So I'm in the gym. I'm working out in Mount Vernon in Extreme Fitness, right on Gramerton, and these visions started coming to me. Clear as day, left the gym, went there, went home, wrote the script for my first film, Hilo. Didn't have any film experience, didn't go to any fancy film school, didn't know how the hell I was going to do it, hired a production company.
How long did it take you to write the script?
I wrote the script in about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
45
That's like
minutes.
some Lil Wayne shit.
But the film was only 10 minutes and 44 seconds. It was a short. It wasn't a full feature. Now, Hilo was a short. Hilo II was a short, 32 minutes. Then Graves became my first feature, which was an hour and 27.
How long did it take you to write that?
To write Graves?
Yeah. Because this, I want to put it into perspective so that people know how long it takes. Because 10 minutes, 45. But a film, most people, when you say a film, they think of hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
So how long does it take to write a script?
For a feature or for a short?
For a feature.
And what considered a feature? An hour and a half?
45 minutes or more.
45 minutes.
45 minutes or more is considered a feature. So right now, when we did Graves, it was more of, I had the script initially. It took me about, I say 2 months to write the script. And then as we went, I usually add scenes on. Like, that's why I say the script is never the script. I'm like, you know what? This is missing. Let's add this. This is missing.
It's a starting point.
Right. It's a blueprint. Like I always tell the cast, my cast will tell you, Will is nuts. This guy's going to tell you these scenes are there, but nothing's written in stone. Security Guard took me about 2.5 months to write.
So 2.5 months to write.
To write the 2-hour film.
6 months to film.
6 months to film. We only film on weekends, and 6 months of editing.
You only film on weekends.
Only weekends.
I imagine it's because all of the actors have like 9 to 5s that you use.
Right. They have 9 to 5s, or they have other commitments, or whatever it is. But so here's my formula. From around June to November, we film. From November till about March, we're editing. I'm still finishing up the tweaks of Security Guard.
I mean, it's the winter months.
And then that's what I do because I don't want to film in the winter. It's too cold. We did film a lot of the stuff for the veteran, like the trailers and stuff, in the winter. But I try to keep that same formula.
Unless you have a scene that is...
snow or anything. Like, it's hard to film in snow, but I mean, because you got to be consistent with the flakes when you cut different angles. It makes not snow now, then there's no snow in the next shot.
Yeah.
So that becomes
and then
tricky.
You have to start making
That's why you have artificial snow. Yeah, I don't make any snow. I mean, we shoot guerrilla style.
Okay, so let me... this is... I always thought about this, too, because... Like, aside from, the big... films where like perfect example, there's a show I watch called Stranger Things. And
I love Stranger Things. I'm waiting for season 4.
Dude.
They got older though. They're older now. So it's with
Stop it.
Vecna.
Stop, okay? Because I'll go on for another.
It has a Freddy Krueger vibe.
I'll go
a
on.
lot of
for
people
another,
don't know that
know.
Stranger Things. The soundtrack sounds like the old
it
Freddy
has a little
movies.
Freddy, but I'll go on for like 2 hours. It's my favorite show.
I love it.
It's my
I
favorite
love
show
it
of
too.
all time. Okay.
11.
I like it.
I have
but
watched.
I love it.
Let me tell you this side story.
I still think Will's going to turn into Vecna. He's going to go with Vecna.
Dude, I still think Eddie's alive. I think Eddie comes back
Eddie,
as but dude, it's
Are
like
they making another season?
season 5.
Yeah, it's the last season.
I've watched it so many times. I don't even want to admit. I've watched it backwards once.
It's great.
I watched season 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I watched season 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it was 3 and 1.
It's addictive.
Dude, it's
you
crazy.
watched it? Have you watched it?
I've watched it, but
dude, it's so
I just
good.
watched it
And then
one time
and
through.
then you get like, and each season just gets like exponentially. And then I remember season 4 came out, the first episode when the guy gets like sucked to the ceiling. I'm like,
Yeah.
At
It's
the
like
end of
Freddy
it,
Krueger.
I was like, what the? Just hit my wife and I look at what the hell just happened.
I watched the trailers.
It's
I
great.
love the trailers.
Great. And then
is a good show, for
after
sure.
like
The
season
running up the
oh
hill.
god! And then after season 3, right at the last episode of season 3, one of the main characters dies, right? And then you're like, I was shook. I'm like, what the fuck? He can't die, right? And then I'm like, then everybody's posting about it. Oh, did you see after the credits? Did you see after the credits? I'm like, what do you mean? I go back and you wait until after the credits, and then they cut to Russia. And they're like prisoners, and they're going to grab a prisoner, and they're like, "Don't grab the American." And I'm like, "He's fucking alive."
He's from White Plains, by the way.
Yeah, he is. So anyway,
he is actually. Yes.
the reason why I bring this
I
up
actually knew
is,
that.
so in like aside from big productions, so in Stranger Things they filmed in a Russian prison, but I think it was Latvia that they filmed in, and it was in the middle of the winter, so it's cold, and like you
They actually filmed in Russia?
they filmed. I think it was Latvia.
Wow.
I think it was
Where's
it was a
that?
Latvian prison.
No kidding.
In
Russia?
Europe somewhere.
Oh, Europe.
But aside from these big feature films that have these like well-known, lots of big budget, where they can fly, like White Lotus filmed in Thailand.
I haven't seen the new season, but the last 2 were good.
Yeah. So like aside from that,
Yeah.
if you have a low budget, you said you have no budget.
No budget. That's just
How
me.
do you film? How do you film a winter scene? Like, you're in the middle of July and you got to be a winter scene, so people are wearing fur coats and shit, and it's 100 degrees out.
Oh, we've done that.
So
We've
how
done
do
that.
you like prevent them from sweating? Like, because you'll see the sweat on camera. Like,
We have to bring massive towels. We did that for Hilo II. We filmed a lot of it in the summer, but it was based in the winter. A lot of my films are always usually based, like, depending on what the film is, it will be based in the summer or winter, and then we'll have the coats, and they're like, "You really want me to wear this, Will?" I'm like, "Yeah." And the jacket is.
I mean,
like, drenched.
you have to.
And we have to like get a fan, air it out. It's
So they like taking the coats off in between
have
and
to-
putting it on and wiping down.
every take. So that those scenes, I make sure when we do scenes like that, and if it's not, it's the whole day, 8 hours. Even if it's
Oh,
something, it's got to
Because
be.
I've always wondered, like, how do you do that? Because
Yeah.
you know, or you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like
you
if
always figure it out. You're always figuring something out when you're making these films. You're getting better. You're learning what not to do on the next set. It's always a learning process, like anything else. But it becomes more of pushing boundaries with me. It's like outdoing the last film. Okay, all right. I did a sci-fi film called Oculus on no budget.
What was that about?
So it's about a character named Zia Laney. She loses her son. It's about the afterlife. They go into the Oculus, which is the afterlife, and time moves a little bit differently. Now, it has like a Matrix kind of vibe, but it also has this whole different element of like The Boys. You ever watch Homelander?
No, I haven't.
You don't watch The Boys, like lasers and stuff?
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
The
about.
special effects. So when I was filming it, and I told the cast, I say, listen, when we're doing the trails, I'm like, all right, give me a voiceover for ships. And the actress, Tara Beavers, is like, she's like, we don't have ships. I'm like, well, we have ships. It's a LaSalle production.
What ships? What's that?
Like an actual ship.
Oh, actual
Like
ship.
ships in the movie. There's ship. I mean, you got to see the trailer. It looks like
Is it a feature or short?
it's a feature. It's almost 2 hours. It was the film before Security Guard. If you
gotta
go on
check- I gotta
YouTube and
check.
look at the trailers, man, you'll be blown away.
I gotta check this.
People
out.
are like, dude, this looks like some Battle World, like insane. The special effects. You gotta look at it.
I'm gonna check it out.
And
I'm gonna pull up right
pull
now.
it up.
Fine.
Pull it up on YouTube.
Can
And
we-
then
how long is it? Can we play it?
Yeah, you can play the trailer.
So YouTube, just so you know, we have the permission from the owner
Yeah,
of
yeah,
this
you can
video.
put it up.
Eric,
You can
Eric,
put it up.
Eric, hook it up to the.
You
Yeah,
can
I'm
put it up.
I'm already hooked
And
up
You're hooked up.
yeah,
True Mix, hook it up.
Let me just see here.
Oculus. You go to Arrival of the Oculus. It should come up right on my channel.
And then I have a question. I have a question after this. I want to.
It looks like some Battle
There you
World, like
How do you spell Oculus?
OCULUS.
LUS.
Oculus trailer should come up.
Got it. Yeah, it's
It
like the
should
fourth
say
one.
Arrival of the Oculus. I think that's the latest one.
How long is the trailer?
Like a minute and something.
So so
There's
before,
like 3 trailers though.
before he pulls this
So
up.
Oculus trailer and what? I don't even
me
know
see.
what. Yeah,
Before he pulls this up, I have a bone to pick with
talk to me. What do you got?
trailer makers now. Okay.
like
With-
too much.
And I have a bone to pick with trailers that are coming out.
These are all the upcoming trailers. But here, Oculus is right here. The arrival of the Oculus.
I'll subscribe to your.
So my bone to pick before you play this trailer is that movies nowadays.
Bro, look how clear this shit is.
The trailers are way too they show
too much.
Yeah, I go. I don't even have to watch the trailer. Would be like 4 minutes. I go. I don't even have to fucking watch a movie. Like I know what's gonna happen. I go. That person's gonna kill that person. That person's gonna fall in love. Like well, okay, done. I don't need to watch it.
I always make mine very misleading. You think you know what's happening, but I mislead everyone.
Like you have to tease them. Minute and a half, good. Like I've seen some. I go. I don't need to watch it anymore.
Minute and a half. Here you go, Joss.
The
Ready?
Oculus.
I don't understand. Who are you? Where are we? What is this place?
That's me.
Is the Oculus.
No,
that's you.
I put on 40 pounds, cut my hair, cut my beard, everything.
Were you expecting a white light at the end of the tunnel?
But the reality is, it is nothing more than a purgatory for all of the souls. This place is beyond saving. They will come, seek, and destroy all beings inside of the Oculus. I have to stop them.
Old school doctor's mask.
There you go.
You did all this?
Yep, my editor. Yeah.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah, that's very cool.
In the church.
Crazy.
Zyla and the suits are coming.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's
So let me ask you this. So
that's sick,
yeah,
dude.
that's nice. I'm gonna leave that like.
Thank you, man.
So you're doing all the special effects, right?
Well, I don't do it. My editor does it.
No, I mean
for
like
sure, yeah.
you're shooting the shot for the special effects.
Yep.
I'm sure that's got to be like a lot of choreography.
Is it not funny as hell when people are just like bang bang and nothing's coming out bang bang?
Well, you know what's funny, when we were filming a lot of like the gun scenes, like the shootout scenes for Graves, the guys were going like they forgot that they were doing it with their mouth. I guess they were like.
Yeah,
and I'm like, guys, cut. I'm like, you can't do the mouth thing. Like, oh, okay. They subconsciously they were doing it.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, it was so funny. But no, another cinematographer shot the scenes that I was in. So I didn't shoot the scenes that I was in. I shot everything else.
You had a little Morpheus vibe to you, going.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
that
kind
was
of.
a Morpheus vibe.
Yeah, kind of. But he's neutral. So that's why his lasers are yellow. Her lasers are red because she's evil. But it's more to that story.
Blue is good, or
no, blue were the suits. They're called the suits.
Okay.
They look like kind of the Court of Owls, but they look a little different. Yeah, I mean that's just one of the trailers. He did like 4 trailers, and people were just like blown away. Like, dude, how are you doing this with no budget?
Cool,
I'm like, well, we just do it.
Yeah,
man.
I mean that's a question. How do you do it with no budget?
I work a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: do you do anything else? Do you work anything else?
Yeah, I moonlight. I'm a armed security guard.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I do armed security. I moonlight, and
what does that mean?
At nighttime, you're.
Yeah, I work different jobs. Sometimes it's retail. Sometimes it could be anything.
That's what moonlight means.
Moonlight means that when you moonlight, you're like basically like you're working like armed security or like
Yeah, I never
it's
heard.
Kind of like nothing. I don't have a union. I don't have a pension. It's
no,
just
but you're an arm. You're
1099 employee. I'm an independent contractor.
You have a license to carry.
I have a full carry license.
Full carry, and then in like private security, people can hire you.
It's private. Yeah, it's private. It's completely private. And I'm an independent contractor, and that's what I do. I just work a lot, and I just
That's
put money
good.
aside.
So you can like if
that's how I fund my stuff.
Like
if
I wanted a security guard for a day, I could like hire you.
Yeah, could do that.
Shit.
I can carry in all New York State, not New York City. Not yet, at least. I'm still waiting.
Still
waiting for the city carrier.
Not to
Good luck.
Not to get political, but I carry in all 50 states, depending on what happens.
But I mean, I do that. I have no investors, no sponsors. When people, see my films, they're like, "Dude, how are you doing this?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm filming it, I'm directing it, I'm producing it, I'm writing it. So I'm doing the job of 50 people."
Can you wear that outfit when you wear like the
outfit
like when you're full on private security? Do you like
no?
You have a team of guys.
It's funny because when I did that film, I was 250 pounds, man.
You didn't look that big.
I was fat, dude. I gained a lot of weight for the role, and then after
250
that, 250. I'm 202 now. I was 250, man.
Damn.
And then I got married the same year, and then I put on all the married weight, and then I had to lose it. You know, my wife was like, "Listen, you're getting a
But
little
I think
heavy."
that goes to show
The commitment.
if you love it,
You'll do
if
it.
you want to do it, you'll figure out a way to
You
do
know
it.
who does that? You know who's crazy with that?
Tom Cruise.
Well,
He does his own stunts. He's
well,
nuts.
he's
out of
he's
his
nuts.
mind.
He's
He's
like the last
stuntman.
time. He's like the last.
But
stuntman for movies.
Christian Bale. You ever seen Christian Bale's transformations? You
Yeah,
ever see
from
him
Machinist and
from
Machinist?
Machinist to Batman?
Insane.
Bro, Machinist, he was like 115. I'm gonna show it to you.
But I'm talking about. I'm not. I
So
know
was
he's dedicated to the
Joaquin
role.
Phoenix too for the Joker.
yeah, I gotta
He
show
only
it to
ate
you.
an apple a day.
I've seen what you're talking about, but I'm talking about just passion alone. Like he's making movies.
I
with
shaved
no
my
budget.
head. I shaved my beard. My wife was pissed. I've never cut my hair. I've never shaved. When I went to set, the guys were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah.
Everything I had when I put it on, they were like, "I was like, listen, I will never ask you guys to do something I myself won't do."
I like that
So if I ask you to
mentality.
shave your beard, it's because I'm willing to do it. If I ask the cinematographer to hang out the back of the car and get the shot, I'm
gonna
willing
do
to do it.
I
I'm
like
not
that
going to
attitude.
ask anyone to do something I'm not willing to do. I think
Dude.
that's what
But what
true
I'm
leadership
trying to
is.
say is, yeah, you can be dedicated to the role. You can gain 50 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever. But I'm talking about in his scenario, he has no budget. He makes 6 movies. He made 6 movies in 6 years. Just passion, attitude, dedication, discipline alone. So it goes to show if there's something that you're passionate about or you want to do, and you think like you can't do it, you just got to figure out a way to do it.
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have
I'm sure
everything
you are.
figured out. People are looking at me like, man, you make this stuff look so
you
easy.
figure it out how to.
Here you go.
You figure it out in the moment what works for you. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you figure out the secret sauce, but you figure out a way to make movies. You figure out a way to make time. You figure out a way to find actors, find the shot. You figure it out
Yeah.
because you're passionate for it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I mean, you're
Here
a
you
true
go.
testament to that. That's
So
nice.
this is Christian Bale on the left at like 115 pounds, and then him on the right when he played Batman at.
Batman Begins, yeah. I remember he had to gain the weight.
Look at the difference, dude.
yeah, no, it's sick.
He was 33 in that picture.
Crazy, and
On the
this
right.
and this is even more. So this is like Batman, Machinist. I forgot what that is. That's
That's the movie where he's
That's American
playing
Hustle.
American
American
yeah.
Hustle, and then this is Batman again, and that's
You know what Christian Bale movie I love?
that's
American Psycho.
Is that,
that's
is that-
awesome.
That's
It's
not
such a
Warrior.
good movie.
Is that Warrior? No, that's he plays a boxing guy.
What was
But-
that? Oh, I thought it was the NASCAR.
He plays a boxing guy.
Ford versus Ferrari.
But he goes from the lowest here is 55 kilograms up to 103 kilograms. So basically double your body weight. 55 kilograms is like 115 pounds or something.
Yeah,
and it
it's-
goes up
it's
to
impressive.
240. Like, that's nuts, dude. That's
it's
nuts.
really it's the dedication that you have to the
You
craft.
gotta do, man.
I got actors and actresses on my set that they go above and beyond, man. I got actors that from
do
LA
you
to
find them?
Pennsylvania.
How do you find them?
So a lot of them I find through either Instagram, backstage, or it'll be a cast member who knows someone.
Podcast.
Podcast, yeah. You never know.
Well, if you need an extra, you know you got a local guy in Eastchester.
I mean, listen, a lot of the guys, they, a lot of people, they say, hey, man, I want to be in your films. And then when I tell them, all right, as long as you're willing to work for free, 18
on the weekends, long hours.
on the weekends, 18 hours a day. They're like, oh, I thought it was. I say, no. What you see is the finished product. I'm like, and then when they see how it's done, they're like, listen, this is what I tell people. Like, if you really want to do this, you got to really want to do it. I always tell guys, when the guy's like, yeah, man, they put me in the film. I'm like, dude, you don't want to do this. Like,
I can see that.
Yeah.
like,
It's
That's
a
like people with the
commitment.
podcast. People like, oh, I'm being on the podcast. I'm like, all right, what do you do? Oh, I don't know. I just
it's always.
You'll be on the podcast just
they
to be
don't-
on it.
Yeah, they don't see the work that
Yeah.
goes into what you
People
guys do,
have no
setting this
idea.
stuff up,
They have no
putting this
idea.
stuff up, editing, syncing it up, putting this audio, this, making sure the level. It's a lot of intricate things. But I tell guys like, listen, man, if you want to do this, you got to be serious. I don't like bullshitters. I'm like, listen, don't waste my time. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't waste my time. If you're gonna come in here, you're gonna do it. I need full commitment. I need you to sign the contract. I need you to be fully committed. I need you to tell me, hey, Will, I'm in. You don't have to be a yes man, but just tell me, hey, look, if I ask you to do something, do it. And then if you want to do it a certain way, we'll do it that way. I give them creative freedom. It's not, it's not communist Cuba. I'm
Because
not telling them
they
have
might
to.
feel something like, hey, listen, I kind of feel, I'm
Right.
feeling like this guy.
Yes,
I
and
feel
that's
like
what they do.
Could we try this?
And that's what they do. Like a lot of the actors, Lance Theobald Jr., Yanko Valentin Perez, these guys come on and we work together. It's a collaborative process. I tell them, you don't work for me, you're working with me. You're not working for me, we're working together.
See,
And
that's a great way. That's a great like
Attitude.
atmosphere because you have a guy like, listen, you have your vision of what you want it to turn out, but then you're not in the role, playing the role, and
Right.
work and bouncing off with somebody like, hey, listen, I'm in the. What do you need?
Give me some of those.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
some of those.
You're like, I'm in the scene. Like, let's say I'm an actor,
Right.
and you're saying, hey, I want you to play this. I want you to do this type of type of vibe. Like, okay, you do it, and I'm doing it. I said, you know what? Can we try this? I got a feeling like maybe if he he said it this way.
Yeah.
Or maybe if I had a cigar in it, it would make the character seem a little bit more like rugged or something.
Absolutely.
Can we try it like that? And you'd be like, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
I give the actors any
and then you
freedom they
try
want.
it, and you might be like, you know what? That is kind of cool. You know what? Now he's a cigar smoker.
Yep.
I want a cigar in every fucking scene because
Yeah, anything that they listen. My actors will tell you. They'll tell you Will's batshit crazy. He's batshit passionate. But what they will tell you is that if they have an idea, I'm like, let's go with it. You want to do it that way? Let's do it. Because let me tell you something. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
When your actors feel something, that's what makes a great director and a great leader. You have to give them that.
Then they I feel like they want to get more
into
because
it.
they're like, oh, this is my idea, and he likes it. Now I can really, because it came from, and then shit happens.
It just makes it a better atmosphere. Like you said, it makes it even more. They're more inclined to do more now because you've given them that. And I think that's what makes a great director. It's not just, hey, I'm the director, you do what I say. No, that's not how it goes. My actors will tell you. I'll pull them to the side, and I always live by the phrase, you ridicule in private, you praise them in public. If I have to critique them, I pull them away from everyone. Hey, listen, man, this is what I'm thinking. I'm never going to tell an actor how to act because I'm a terrible actor. I told you, I have no business acting. They're the professionals.
Right.
I belong behind the camera. When you see that Oculus, you're going to say, man, I don't know. Will's kind of, I don't know what he's talking about here.
I
don't know what he's talking about. He sounds like the Terminator. But, I mean, listen. It just makes it better. It makes the process. It makes everything more collaborative. It's a unit. It's a village. That's what it is.
And then what's the worst that can happen, right? If somebody says, hey, can we try it this way? You're like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And let's say they try it, and then it doesn't really vibe. You'd be like, all right. And then you like, hey,
but what I'll do is if that happens, I'll just tell them, hey, man, you know what? Let's try it. And if they say, if I don't like it, I won't tell them I don't like it because then you take them out of it. You never want to tell an actor, hey, I don't like that. You never want to tell them it's bad. You just, all right, cool. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's try it my way again. And let's tweak it a little bit. You always got to find ways.
Yeah.
You don't want to take their confidence away. Yeah, you don't ever want to do that.
No, if they're doing something like, you know what?
Because actors are sensitive to that. They'll take that as
but you can tell them like, listen, let's do it again, but can you try a little bit more of this? Like I like what
pulling them to the side and telling them that. Not in front of any other actor. I never critique another actor in front of another actor or tell them how to act. They do the work. A lot of these guys in Juilliard, they work. They put the work in. They're not influencers, which I hate. I hate influencers. They're not instant gratification.
We do too.
I can't stand an influencer.
I mean,
I don't care who you are.
We're technically considered influencers.
No,
but we hate
you guys
the
are
term.
not. You guys are podcasters. Influencers kill me, dude. With the instant gratification and they do
we
it
call
for
them
likes.
skinfluencers.
I can't
too.
stand it.
You ever heard of skinfluencers?
No, I never heard of it. But I can't stand an influencer.
So
I don't care if I get flack for that. I can't fathom it because it sends the wrong message. It's basically saying, let's overnight success. Let's get instant likes. Let's go viral. Dude, do the work. Do the work. Do the work, and you can do whatever you want.
It takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Dude, I'm going on my 7th film now. We're working on film 7.
We're going on 6 years.
Look at that.
We're going on 6 years, and people are like, "Oh, you guys." People say, "Oh, you guys are like cigar celebrities." I'm like, first of all, we're not cigar celebrities. We're just a couple guys. Like we just like cigars. We
I tell people when they say
like,
that, "Oh, you
cigars," I'm like, no.
Yeah, they do that to me. You've been on all these news networks. Well, how do you feel? I said, I'll tell you how I feel. I got in my Uber. I went home. I showered. I went to work.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. What do you think? I got $1 million condo. Nothing changed, dude, other than the fact that I got an opportunity. It doesn't change who I am. That's
what, like, when people come on the show, they say this, they're like, you guys just, like, we're just chilling. Like, we're just having a conversation. Yeah. People think it's this big, like, elaborate. I go, I'm in my pool house in the back. I converted my pool house to. They go, do you have a? I go, we have 2 fans, one blowing in, one blowing out. Yeah. That's our ventilation system. Okay, like it's.
We're down to earth guys.
Yes,
we had
a term. I can see that, man.
We had a term that we I don't know if we coined it or whatever, but we call them skinfluencers.
Oh, great!
It's when you get people that they just show skin to get likes.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they might not even know what the hell they're promoting, but they just show tits and ass, and they get $1 million.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And I go, you're a skinfluencer. Nobody's following you because you are absolutely knowledgeable about golf or cars or cigars and movies. They're following you because it's a dude, and you're showing your tits and ass. So he's like, that's why he's following. I go. I mean, you don't give a shit.
You got a lot of that
like,
too,
I'm a cigar influencer, and they're like, I'm smoking a cigar, and you can't even see the freaking label. Cigar's like over here, and they're just like in a bikini, and they're like, I'm a cigar influencer. I go, no, you're not.
Well, because it sells. That's
like,
what people want to see.
Okay.
They want the likes and views. It just sends the wrong message to me. I can't stand it.
So, what has your experience been like with these influencers? Where it sounds like it's been a bad experience. They just want to be they want to be in a movie, so they can say they've been in a movie, and it's.
So I'm not gonna ever bash anyone publicly. What I will tell you is that I've had some actors who thought they were actors, but they're influencers. They don't know the difference. The actors that come on my set put in the work. they're in acting school. Even if they're not in acting school, they're working on their craft. They're on different sets. They're learning. They're evolving. These people come on the set and they want, oh, I want this. I want that. I'm like, dude, I get rid of those guys quick. They're gone. Their contract is ripped up.
The question
breached, gone, out.
The question should be, what do you want out of this film? Like,
Right.
Are there
you
red,
come out as the
red
actor.
flags that you look that you
Well,
look for?
I had.
Just call it a Jane Doe or John Smith.
I had a John Doe come in. They want a photographer. They want this. I'm like, you're in the wrong field. Like, this is not what this is about. This is about art. This is about the work. You're sending the wrong message. We're not going to do that. They may do that on another production. They don't do that on LaSalle Productions. I run my things the way I want to run it, and it runs efficient. That's why we have 6 films in 6 years. When you let people run the show, they do whatever they want. Oh, they feel because they're not getting paid, then they're getting paid through reels, which they get paid, and they shop for agents, and they're able to create bigger and better opportunities, like getting on like Power, Raising Kanan. They'll feel like, oh, I'm not getting paid, so since I'm not getting paid monetarily, I don't have to take this seriously. I can show up when I want. Well, guess what? You're gone. Breach your contract. See you later. You're out. I don't deal with it. We have a family. We run a tight ship. I can tell you that all those people are gone. The right people are with me, and they're with me because they're passionate. They love what I do. They know I'm batshit crazy, but I'm passionate, and I'm going to make this stuff happen. And they know I'm gonna fight for them. I'm going to give them the exposure that they need. A lot of them come in. They've never had a feature role. Dude, they're killing it. They're getting roles on Law and Order. They're getting roles on Raising Kanan. All my actors if you come to the premiere, you meet them. They're all on these big shows. All of them. They're not doing background. They have roles in the film. You watch Raising Kanan? Do you watch that, Power? Kyle Bland, one of my actors. He's on Raising Kanan. He's amazing. The most humble guy you'll ever meet. He doesn't, like, when you see him act, you're like, whoa, he's a whole different type of guy. He gets off, say, hey, Will, very chill, very quiet, very humble. I love that because it didn't change him.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of those people that come on, or they have all these crazy. They think they've arrived, or they think because they're a good actor they can get away.
Because they got 100,000 followers, man. It's like
that and or the ego. The ego is the worst thing to deal with when you work with actors. You got actors that have big egos that are like, yeah, man, I run the show. I'm like, no, this is I run the show.
Yeah,
like
we'll work film,
right? We'll work together, but this is how I want it. This is how it's done. If you don't like it, you go work somewhere else. But if you want to be in first place, you're gonna play with LaSalle Productions. If you want to play with those other guys, go work on their sets. I know what I'm doing. I have no budget, and I'm competing with guys who have a budget. I look at the films that are made. I'm like, dude, that budget was how much? Look at our budget. Compare the films. Look at them side by side. Imagine if I had a budget. Kidding me.
Yeah. Now, so you're trying to go for 9 films in 9 years,
yep.
right?
9 films in 9 years.
Are you trying to do all of them no budget? Or
yep.
like these next 3?
The next three will be, so the next 3, so like I said, you got Hilo II, you got Graves, you got Oculus, you saw Security Guard is film 6. The Veteran is about a homeless veteran. That's film 7. Film 8 is a film called Lucy. Is about autism.
Yeah.
The parents blame themselves for having the child late, and they think the food that they were eating had GMOs and all this stuff. It's a lot of very personal things that no one talks about. That's what I'm touching on for Security Guard, Veteran, and Lucy. Those, you got autism, you got the veteran, the homeless, opioid epidemic, the homeless crisis.
What's the 9th film?
The 9th film is Gravestone. It's a prequel.
Oh, that's right.
It's a prequel to Graves.
Now,
I will be in that film.
Can I ask about the film in Lucy? You had said that the parents had them late and they have GMO. Do you touch about?
There's different spectrums of autism.
Do you touch on the vaccines at all?
We are going to touch on that. It's going to be very controversial.
Well, I know the reason I asked it because
I'm going to be controversial with the next. The next 3 films are going to be very controversial. Like I said. If you come to the premiere, if you guys come, you'll see the slate. I call it the LCU, the LaSalle Cinematic Universe. You're going to get like an actual movie. You're going to get trailer 3 for Security Guard, which has never been released. Trailer 1 for the veteran. First look for the veteran. A tribute video, and then the film. And before that, we'll speak to all the people that are there, the politicians that are coming. We have the mayor of Mount Vernon coming. We have state legislators. We have MSNBC that's going to be there. I have a contract I'm going to announce there in person. News 12 is going to be covering the event. It's the biggest event we've never. We do it every year, but this is the biggest.
This is the big
this film.
This is the big one.
Yeah, this is over 100 people coming, and it's the cast is insane. I hope you guys do make it because it'll be great.
I'm gonna try and come.
I really want you guys to come and see what I actually do.
I would love to.
Seriously, because if you can, that'd be great. You guys will come. It is. I guarantee you're gonna walk out of there and say, "Man, that guy is something. That film was something." I'm not hyping myself up.
What are the time? What time is it?
6 to 9.
Okay.
It's one time a year. We do it every March, every year. It's the premiere. So you guys are going to see the film before the world sees it. It's the only first 100 people to see the film. No one's going to see it until it comes out, which takes another 3 months to come out on streaming services.
Now, have you ever thought about? I know you said 9 and 9, and you're going to be done
Doing a 10th film?
But have you thought about? Okay, one, maybe doing a 10th film. Now, have you thought about doing a budget film?
Yes.
Trying to get investors and do a budget film. Maybe that's your 10th film and see what you can do.
Here's the thing with investors.
Budget.
Investors, when you get investors, they control your narrative.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Well,
I like
what
freedom.
about a private
investor?
Like if you got a private one that was just like, hey,
it depends. It
that
depends.
had a same agreement of like if you went to them and say, hey, listen, I'm looking. This is what I want to do, and there's like no negotiation. Like, I'm looking for X, and then you get X in return as.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Haven't thought about
I'm going to
that.
work for Lionsgate. That's the goal. After the 9th film, I will be working for Lionsgate. I am going to get my Oscar. Remember, I told you this.
Let's go, baby.
I'm going to be. I am already the greatest independent filmmaker the world has ever seen, and you're going to see that when you see this film. I do this with no money. I am beating the competition.
That's why I'd ask. Like, could you what could you
Lionsgate.
do with money? Yeah.
Oh, I could shut streets down.
Yeah, I know Lionsgate.
First thing I need to do is pay my cast because they are the ones that make these films happen. Without them, this company is nothing. That's first and foremost. A lot of people don't understand that. These films, my company is nothing without these actors and actresses. They give everything to make these films possible. They give up vacations. They give up time with their family. They are absolutely incredible. When you meet them, they're from Pennsylvania, L.A., New Hampshire. They come from everywhere. My wife is like, I can't believe these guys come in to be in your film. I said, you know why? Because they believe in me. You know how important time and money is to people? And they come in and dedicate that? That means they really believe in what I'm doing. You saw the trailer for Oculus, you're blown away. Wait till you see the other stuff that I've done.
I apologize.
Now,
I don't mean to be texting. I'm trying to.
Nah, don't worry
I'm taking care of home life.
No, I got you.
I think
yeah, because I'd ask, like, you know, what if this is what you could do without a budget? Imagine what you could do with a budget. Now, I have a question. I have another question, but from previous. But I want to stay on this topic. So you make an independent film, right? You have no budget.
Yep.
This film, you make it security guard, no budget. You make it. Can it win an Oscar for an best independent film? Like, how does that?
That's a good question, man. I don't know if it can win an Oscar. I mean, maybe if it goes viral, people. I don't know how that works. Man.
Like, I don't know how it works. Like,
I don't know.
Does it? Because the reason I ask is because
is that Googleable?
You can Google it. But the reason I ask is because, you know, you said you wanted to win an Oscar. I'm like, well, maybe it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it has to be. Maybe this could be the one.
It could be the one. I really believe in my heart that this is the film.
That's good. You should.
That's going to really. I mean, it has. It already has shown with all the media we've gotten on it. This film
I can tell that from like just talking to you for this brief hour and 15 minutes we've been talking. I can tell you have a very strong passion for what you're doing. And I can tell that you believe it in your bones that you.
I believe my wife thinks I'm nuts. The way I believe in myself, the way I believe in what I'm doing is.
You have to.
There's nothing I feel everything. Let me just tell you this. So I was an NYPD School Safety Agent. I was a New York City correctional officer. My dream was to be a police officer. I was disqualified 9 times from 9 different police departments.
Really?
9 different police departments.
Why is that?
I didn't get it in.
God's plan.
I got psychologically disqualified, or MTA police. I didn't have the credits. I was getting ready to go in the academy. My wife dropped me off on Grand Central, getting ready to get sworn in. The lady goes, "We don't take FEMA credits." I'm sorry. Have 61 FEMA credits. FEMA. I didn't go to college. Never went to college. Okay. Disqualified. New Jersey Transit disqualified. DEP disqualified. White Plains disqualified. I mean, you name it. So, to me,
why would they make you take those credits if they?
I took them because NYPD used to take them.
Okay.
This is years ago, and I'm almost 40. So you're talking about a guy who wanted something so bad, and God was like, nope, that's not your door. You're meant to be the greatest independent filmmaker and make these films. Now imagine if I became a cop. I would never have the time to make the films. I'll be working some graveyard shift, all these crazy hours.
He works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
It looks like you can. So
I put
independent film win an Oscar. It says, for many the winners of the 2025 Oscars have proven that indie films are no longer just challengers; they're champions. For many low-budget independent films, an Oscar nomination is a golden ticket.
There you go.
So it sounds like you can.
Oh. Say like you had said like you got disqualified 9 times.
9 times, 9 different police departments. Crushed my world. I cried. My wife was like, "Listen, you got to trust the process." It was all I ever wanted to do. My father was a cop. I was like, "All right, well, you know what? It's not my goal." And I had to once I accepted that. And God showed me, like, listen, man, this is where you're supposed to be. I never questioned it again. I said, you know what, dude? I'm so happy that happened to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you rejection is redirection, because I've never been more sure that
this is my
plan. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
And I know you don't want to talk religion, but
no, it's fine. I mean, listen, I believe in God. I believe that that wasn't my door. It was like God was like, no, man, you're gonna do this. You're going to do bigger, better.
100%.
And that was it. And listen, the guys who see me in the job are like, man, I see you doing all this crazy. I said, dude, I would never be able to do that stuff if I was on the job. Those guys are, forget about it. Forget about it. Never happened.
Listen, like,
It's even today. It's even worse.
Never happened. It will never happen.
It's amazing how, like, there's situations, that happen in your life, and you think,
what's the end? You think it was the end? Like,
you're
oh
like,
my God,
why me or this, that, and that. But then when you look back on it, you're like, that. Like I'm not trying to get
No, go ahead. You say it. You can say it. Whatever. However it comes out. However it comes out. It comes out.
I believe in God. I'm a Christian man, and He's blessed me in so many different ways, and He's done things in my life that are beyond this earthly hand, and I can't explain them except for it's His plan. And when things happen like that, in the moment, you feel like crushed and you feel so down. But then when you look back, you're like, God, you had your hand in that.
Right.
And I know that you were doing this for my benefit and for my purpose and for the plan that you have set forth for me. And I didn't realize it. It's the same thing that what Jesus had said to the disciples when he was washing his feet, saying, you don't know what I'm doing now, but later you'll understand. Right. That's what, like, I truly believe is in this case, you were rejected 9 times. You're like, what the F, man? Like,
and sometimes it wasn't even an official disqualification. It was almost like, I never heard from them. I passed everything. I didn't fail anything. The only thing I got disqualified on the site was for NYPD, but they were like, all right, well, listen, withdraw, whatever it was. I was like, all right, fuck it. I mean, listen, my wife was like, listen, Will, just trust it. I was like, I don't understand. This is all. And I was fighting ferociously. Now I understand.
Now you understand.
Now I'm like, you know what? I trust it.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is like in the moment you were probably crushed. Like, what the hell, man? I've been working so hard for this, and it's not gonna. And then now you look back and you're like, I'm glad.
So happy
that he rejected. That I got rejected like 9 times.
I would never be where I'm at today. Honestly, I would never be where I'm at today, man.
It's no doubt. Yeah. I tell the story about all the time about of how, like, I met my wife, and it's crazy how many things had to have happened in the time that they happened for me to meet my wife. And I'm like, there's no way that this is just a coincidence, right? Like, for instance, when I was going to school, okay, I had to stay. I had a 5-year program, but I had to stay an extra half of a semester to finish, right? So my graduation was delayed, okay? So on the delayed graduation, after I graduated, I go to I'm working at a pizzeria, and I go to apply for a job. And the job that they offered me the job, and it was at a local place around here, and they were going to give me significantly more than what I was working at the pizzeria. And any smart person would have just been like, take your first job. But what I believe, God had told me, don't take this. Hold out for something better, right? Now, I had actually applied. His dad had hired me. I had applied for the company his dad worked for 3 years prior to me graduating, but his dad said, you're too young. I was applying for an internship. Dad said, you're too young. Come back later. So after I delayed half a semester, 6 months, I graduate, work in a pizzeria. I go for this job. They offer it to me. I turn it down, saying, with no other options, turn it down.
But something told you to turn it down.
God told me, turn this down. You have something better planned for you. Turned it down, no other option. 2 weeks later, his dad sends me a spam email saying, hey, I found your resume. Are you interested in the job? I said, yes, I am. I showed up. His dad hired me on the spot. It was twice as much as what the first job was going to pay me.
Look at that.
Okay? Now it gets better. Now I'm on the job. A year later, they have a sales conference. I go down to Texas, right, for this annual sales conference, and I meet a woman there. She was the bartender. Don't get her information, nothing. Just meet her. Her name's Kelly. Go back to New York. A year later, I come down to the same sales conference in Texas. I go to the bartender. I said, hey, is this tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, does she still work here? Yes, her name's Kelly. She'll be back tomorrow. I said, I'll be back tomorrow. I showed up the next day. Kelly was there. I said, hey, do you remember me? She goes, yeah, I do. We hit it off, exchanged numbers. 6 months later, we started dating. 6 months after that, she moved to New York. And here we are married with our first kid.
Wow.
And the son of the person who hired me is now my business partner on this podcast.
Look at that.
Now, you're telling me that that's just a coincidence? That just happened?
That was meant to be.
There's no way that that's a coincidence. That is God's hand in everything.
I could imagine you on the platform and talking to a bunch of people saying the story.
Oh, it's
I'm
great.
telling you, and
it's
it gives me chills. And I've said this.
You're always in the right place at the right
and
time,
it's
man.
Unbelievable
it's
how there's no other explanation. And that's why, listen, and I thank him every single day.
How long you been with your wife now?
This will be 3 years.
Wow,
We've been
God bless,
together, but
man.
we've been together almost a decade. And it's just like, I thank him every single day for like all the blessings, all the opportunities. It's unbelievable.
I'll
and like
I'll
the
tell you
same thing
something.
with you with those 9. You're like now looking
Yeah.
looking back, like in the moment, you're like, okay, holding. And now those 2 weeks, I'm holding. I'm like, man, why I should have taken. Should I have taken that? Maybe I shouldn't have taken.
Right.
And then I get this email, and it's like, bang, bang, bang. Next thing lines up. Next thing lines up. Next thing lines up.
Because it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like I met my wife real quick. I met my wife when she was 19. My wife worked at the tanning salon in the Bronx called Electric Paradise. I was living with the next girl. Went in there with my dog. As soon as I met and saw my wife, who's now my wife, I said, I'm going to marry that girl. That's the woman I'm marrying. As soon as I saw her, I knew. I didn't say it. I felt it. I said, this is the woman I'm going to marry. I don't know when I'm marrying her. I was having a lot of issues with my ex. Years later, we got together, went on a hike. We were inseparable together 8 years, married almost a year. And I knew the moment. And now I'm 8 years older than my wife. Almost 8 years older than my wife. And I knew to this day, I said, this is my wife. This is the woman. It's funny because I see my wife out in White Plains, and I used to always leave my ex to go talk to her. It was weird. My ex used to get pissed. She used to go say, hey. And my wife was like, you remember that? I'm like, yeah. I was just drawn to her. I just felt like that was my person. I was like, yeah, this is the woman. Like this is a man knows.
wild how
man.
that works.
A man
It's
knows. A
amazing.
man knows, man.
It's,
sure.
It's absolutely amazing. And I even think it just now, when I was hired by your dad, I was actually supposed to go. So I was hired in as like an NCG, which is a new college grad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to just train with his dad here in Long Island for 6 months to a year and then ship off to whatever location needed me. And I was actually going to go to Florida. I was supposed to go to Florida.
Kevin went to Florida.
I was supposed to go to Florida, and I was ready to go. I was like, I'm ready to move. I'm going to go to Florida. And then 2 weeks before I was supposed to go, the guy in the office there was a guy that was that was doing my job, but he was in charge of Long Island and the Metro New York area, and I was supposed to go to Florida. 2 weeks before he quit, and his dad came into the office, and he said, congratulations, you're staying in Long Island. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, guy just quit. He goes, we need a guy in Long Island, New York now. He goes, so you're going to stay here. You're not going to Florida. And then I go to...
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I go meet my wife in Tech. And then... So what happens if that guy didn't quit, I would have been in Florida, would I have...
Isn't it crazy how everything just aligns, the universe, everything just
It's wild. I feel like I should go on a motivational tour and talk about
you need to write a book. You need to write a book.
Unbelievable, dude.
That's a movie. That's a movie in itself.
That is a rom-com. That's a rom-com right
Definitely
there.
a rom-com.
That's a rom-com, dude.
Do you do rom-coms?
Dude.
I've never done a rom-com, but I
That's
mean that's interesting, man.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
And she thought my name was Jared for an entire year. That's the funny thing. And then everybody said, "Oh, when you go, you should go to Jared and get the ring."
Hey, Jared, the
I'm
pun.
gonna start calling you Jared now.
She had a name tag Kelly, so it was easy for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
But it's a crazy story, man. So okay, so I have a question that from
Talk to me.
half an hour ago that I
Yeah.
What's one of this came up when we were talking about how like sometimes actors you write it a certain way, but then they do something and you're like, oh, we're gonna leave that in the movie. Just like the one thing is like I drink, I fuck, and I kill. That left in the movie.
Yep.
Or like how you have to film things with people with the jackets and they're sweating and all. What's one of like the craziest things that happened on set where it's just like it just either all chaos and it was, or like something happened and it was like magic and you were just like, that's it, dude. Like cut, set, check, print, check. Like
I always throw the fist bump. Like I'm always quick to throw the fist bump, like the Michael Jordan fist bump. But a lot has happened, man. I'll give you a few.
I want to hear the story about we said a lot of cops.
So let me tell you.
Yeah.
So
I want to hear these stories, like behind the scenes.
We were filming in New Jersey in this decrepit building that had like asbestos. It was the craziest shit in Newark, New Jersey. And
asbestos.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts. It was. I mean, I just say that, but
I feel like every building in the tri-state area has asbestos.
It was like decrepit. Like there was like homeless people in there. It was like really stinky. It was terrible. In graves. At the end, you'll see at the end of the film where we filmed that. And I had my old lieutenant who hated me. He was in my films. We had a huge rivalry when we were on the job. The guy used to write me up. He's an actual NYPD lieutenant. And he was filming. He's one of the mobsters. And New Jersey cop comes in. He sees the guys in there. They're all in Graves police uniforms. Now, all these uniforms that I make them like it gets tailor made. Like Graves is trademarked. There's no such thing as a Graves Police Department or Hilo. I trademarked that. I own the rights to that. So they're all in like real guns and everything. He comes out and goes, "What department is that?" He goes, who's responsible for this? I said, me. I had to take ownership. So I leave and I go to him. He goes, go to my car right now. Fucking puts the lights on. I'm going out. He's like, get your ID ready right now. You're in a building. You're trespassing. You're lucky not getting arrested. So I yell out to one of the cast members. Her name is Grello. I said, Grello, get George in here right now. And hopefully he has his fucking ID on him. He's still a lieutenant, retired. And he comes out. He has his retired ID. He goes, hey, man, I'm with him. I'm on the job. And he goes, you're with these guys? He goes, what are they doing here? What are they doing? He goes, listen, we're filming a documentary for police awareness. He had to lie. The cop said, no problem. Showed the ID. Have a good day. If he wasn't there, I was going to jail.
You're going to jail.
I was getting a ticket.
So
he was right,
so
bro. He pulled out that book.
So wait, so were you actually trespassing on this part?
Yeah. We trespassed. We film no permits, no guerrilla style. I'm filming independent with no budget.
Guerrilla style.
I don't ask for permission. I ask for forgiveness.
So is that like in the back of your head, like shit, man? We could,
oh yeah, all the time. I tell you, but now we were filming Oculus. We were filming Oculus in this another decrepit place.
You got a lot of decrepit.
Oh yeah, we always film. You got to see what we film. All these rural areas with like the graffiti. I love that look. And the guys are outside, but they're sleeping on these like chairs and stuff, and people walking by, walking their dogs. It's like a psych facility in Rockland. I forgot what it's called. Letchworth.
Oh yeah,
Letchworth.
Yeah,
we filmed inside Letchworth. So we come out. Cop comes in. He goes, "Who's in charge?" Of course, I come out. Come with me. He starts like, "Listen, you got to get out of here." The guy was gonna
not again.
The guy was gonna write me a ticket, but I was already used to it. He was writing me a ticket. He goes, "You have to evacuate right now." Mind you, we didn't even finish the scene. I'm like, I brought all these people from Pennsylvania, from LA. Like, if they get a summons, they're never gonna come work with me again, right? So I was like, shit, I gotta figure out a way. So we stopped for like an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts, get a whole bunch of donuts, go to the police station. I said, what police station are you at? He goes, I'm in Rockland, I forgot, Orange County, whatever it is. I went in, gave them all donuts, said, listen, I know you can't give me the permission, but if you give me an hour, he goes, I'll look the other way. He goes, but if I catch you in there again, he winked at me. He goes, I got to arrest you. I said, all right. Basically, we went back, filmed it in an hour. Out.
Good for you.
Give me an hour.
Good for you.
What else? Oh, we were filming Graves on
so that's the second time you
Second time. I've been plenty of times. Cross Bronx Expressway, we're filming.
Cross Bronx Expressway.
If you watch the Graves trailer, pull up the Graves trailer if you can.
That
pull
right.
It up.
That end of story right there.
Cross Bronx.
How crazy was the story? I filmed on a Cross Bronx.
The most dangerous scene to film. Just go right to my channel.
Yeah.
He.
For people that don't know, so Cross Bronx is like the worst road.
So the cinematographer's like, I'm like, you have to hang out the car.
Which one is it? Which
Graves. Let me see.
Yeah, for people that are listening, we're in New York. Cross Bronx Expressway is like the worst.
Yeah, you never want
that. Only thing worse than that is the BQE. Okay. Or the Southern State in rush hour.
It might be
basically anything in the tri-state between Long Island and New York City.
basically any road.
So let's fast forward to this. Let's fast forward towards the end.
Except for maybe the LIE out east. But
so we're filming, and you see the shootout scenes. We're filming that, and the cinematographer's hanging out the car. I'm like, you got to hang out the car and get the shot. I don't care if you die. You got to get the shot. You got to get the shot.
Yeah.
I don't care if you
the
die.
cast members they're scared.
Are you gonna play it?
Play it.
Yeah, play it.
The cast members are terrified. They're like, dude,
so this guy's hanging out the car.
Yeah, and the cast members who are driving with police lights. We have a Ford Explorer blacked out. You're gonna see it
with police lights.
Yeah. Oh, driving through it, like doing the.
Let me see this.
Weaving through traffic. Let me see if you got it. Yeah. That's me, Mike, right here.
They just dug their own grave.
That's St. Raymond Cemetery. That's the decrepit building. There you go.
Oh, so that's where you're filming?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right, here he is.
I want to see if I can get this a little bit clearer because
just play it. Just play it.
I don't want. We don't want to watch it on 144. We want to watch it on bad boy.
Yeah,
dude, remember that 140?
Right. There's cops. There's criminals.
Here it is, right here.
Me.
Units for the armed robbery.
Right here. Cross Bronx Expressway. God. By City Island. You know when you're going up.
Yeah. And you have guns hanging out the window.
Out the window.
Oh my God.
He has a Trump mask on. Look at this.
He's hanging out the window. You have guns hanging out the window.
Oh, it was insane.
Oh my God.
That was like we did like 40 takes of it.
Did any like?
No, we almost
what if a cop drove by and sees
know.
you hanging out the window? Like,
imagine.
There's no way you're getting.
There's no way I'm getting out of that. But
because they're real guns, right? Just not.
No, they're fake. No,
well,
real
what
guns.
about the one you said in decrepit building with all the? Did you say that those are real guns? They all.
No, they look real. They're fake. No, we don't use any real guns on set. But the so the guys that are filming, like the cops that are in the vehicle, the actors, they're like, dude, I said, dude, I'll take full ownership. Just keep going. We got to get the shot. The cinematographer's looking at me. He's like, dude, we're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get. We're all. I said, dude, I'll take care of it. Just get the shot. I don't care what happens.
I'll
get the
bail
shot.
you out.
Get the shot.
Dude,
You
live and die for the shot.
Let me tell you something. The actors, one of the actors, he was so pissed. He was like, dude, he's sweating. He's like, dude, what if I said, did it happen?
But
he
that
goes, I go, did it happen?
Did you
We're
die,
good.
though?
We got away. We got away. We're good. He goes, like he'll never do that again.
But you know what? I kind of.
But it makes for good storytelling.
No, but I
definitely,
kind of
definitely.
I kind of feel
Definitely.
like that adds to the scene, right?
Oh,
Because they're
man,
like, yo,
yeah.
we could like this is real. Like we could get fucking arrested.
Dude, they have.
So
Come
they're
on,
like
President-
jacked up because they're like, we got to do this because you could be driving. There could be a cop sitting right behind a bridge, and you're hanging out the thing like.
That's
so
crazy.
that gives to the adrenaline.
So-
you know?
so
It's
here's
not
a-
like it's a closed off.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
it's no closed off. So here's another thing. Graves, I was almost arrested like 6 times. So another time, we're filming the beginning of Graves. We're filming.
Yeah, we went from 2 times to 6 times real quick.
No. So, no. Like,
I was almost arrested twice. I was almost arrested like.
I mean,
15
almost
times.
the whole movie. I was almost getting into jams. So, Executive Boulevard on Yonkers.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that glass building. So we film.
Sure.
We film coming up. We film the exteriors with guns. The presidents are hopping out the car, which is all of us, and we're just using it as the exterior. And then we're cutting, and then we're shooting an interior somewhere else to make it look like we ran in the building. That's trick photography.
Yeah.
It was on President's Day. When's President's Day? In February.
We just had it. Yeah.
It's February. All right, it's February. So we had to film this scene in February. So I was like, all right, let's just film the beginning of the movie. This scene. There's condos or co-ops right by there. They call the cops. Yonkers cops come in. We're peeling out. Just in time not get arrested.
Oh.
You got arrested.
No, just in time
Oh,
not to get arrested.
not to
No,
get
we did not
arrested.
get
As
arrested.
soon as they pulled in, you were out.
Soon as it was almost so there was a security guy. He patrols the area. I was like, dude, I'm gonna film this. He's like, bro, you're gonna get me fired. You can't do that. People are gonna report you. They did. It was raining that day. Pulled right out. As soon as we pulled out, we saw the sirens. We were out. I was in my wife's Mazda at the time. She had the Mazda. Pulled out, and we had to black out the plate. You see it. If you watch the trail again, sick. I mean, Graves was the riskiest film. That was when
adds to it. You're like,
I was
man,
almost,
I almost went down on that one.
arrested many times. I can't even count. But I mean, I'm thinking of it. It's a lot of the times because we went when you watch the film, you're like, how the fuck did he get away with this? How did he do this in the middle of the street with
because people have
full,
to remember,
full
like,
SWAT gear? I mean,
because people have to remember that when you're like on these big feature films with a huge budget,
you have blocked off
they
streets.
they block. Like for instance, my wife and I just went to breakfast, lunch, brunch in Huntington Village here in Long Island, and they're filming. Actually, Emily Blunt and Emily Blunt and this other guy. They're doing like some I think like alien sci-fi movie, Spielberg film, and they shut down like this whole parking lot where we normally park, and they have all the trailers and stuff. Like
green screens and stuff.
Oh, they just have. I don't know if they started. It was like the first day because we went on like a Tuesday, so they're probably going to film throughout later in the week, but. They shut the whole thing down. So my point is, people don't realize that that's a Spielberg flick. Okay, so this is a lot of money, and they can shut down entire highways to film.
Let me show you this.
But if you have no budget, you can't shut down. You got to just risk it for the
no
biscuit.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And
Well, that's what he does.
and
They shoot a lot in Tuckahoe.
100%.
whereas
shoot a
these
lot of
big
movies right in
features, they'll
Tuckahoe
get
for,
permits. They'll say, "Hey, I have a permit to film here."
This is a green screen for the security guard. See the headline? How controversial?
Yeah. Yes,
Look at it after.
Let me say, I got
So
to.
this is before.
Damn.
Okay.
This is before we did green screen. I
Yeah.
had the green screened them, right? That's one of the headlines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick.
You know, like that's what we do.
That's what you gotta do.
With no budget.
Bro,
So, like,
it's
Honestly,
very professional.
I kind of
It's
now
very- it's very good.
we've done green screen stuff like very minimal for some of the podcasts.
Yeah.
So like we get it, and people don't realize that when we do a reel or something, we make a clip, like it takes like an hour to do or
Yeah.
half an hour.
Yeah.
So now you're doing a whole, and that's very minimal. This is like
Yeah.
next level stuff. And
You
without
got
permits,
to see Oculus, man, and you got to see a couple of the films like
I'm
Graves.
gonna watch a couple. I'm gonna watch a
Yeah,
couple.
you could just type in. There's 3
I'm in
films.
my car a lot. I do a lot of long commutes, so I can just pop it up right on my dashboard.
Yeah, man. I
Don't-
mean, listen,
don't quote.
it's like I said, but for Graves, we were, I could have went to jail. I can't even count, dude. It was
amazing.
it was insane.
That's
Graves
amazing.
was
That's
the most
awesome.
dangerous film I ever made. That I'll tell you.
Sick.
That was the most dangerous film.
So do you have any? So we have the ideas for the 9 for 9. Do you have any other ideas like that you haven't written yet that you're like, yeah, maybe I'll do that in the future?
I want to do a documentary on my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe at some point.
What do they call that? Like an autobiography when you write something about your own life?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do like a whole
like a
biopic of my life. It'll
auto
probably be like 3 hours long. Or
Is it an
probably
auto documentary? Is that what it is?
you could, yeah,
Because a biography is about somebody's life, but an autobiography is when
yourself.
you write about yourself. So a documentary is about somebody's life. So would it be an auto documentary?
Could be an auto documentary.
When you write it about yourself?
Or docu-series.
Now, are you going to do a book about your life first and then turn the book into a film?
No, I think I'm gonna do the documentary first.
Is it gonna be
it's gonna be about my life. Like I'm gonna go back to where I lived in the projects, film there. It's gonna be crazy.
You
I'm
ever
gonna
think about doing like a docu-series? Let me ask you. You ever think about doing a series at all?
I did, but honestly, it's I don't know. Series for me, it doesn't really pique my interest. I'd rather
just
just
film a whole lot more.
Yeah, you got to break down recaps. You got to film. You got to edit recaps.
Like
you got
15 hours of film instead of just.
The documentary I'm going to do is going to take me about maybe the way I do it. It'll probably take me a year.
Well, I mean, I say 15 hours of that's 15 hours of like edited footage.
Because footage is going to take me forever. I got to look through.
When you have a 2-hour film, you probably have 100 hours like footage and shit.
Oh
right?
man, let me tell you, man. Editing is people don't understand. I mean, you know, I'm just doing this stuff.
I know editing is.
Man, when I'm looking through footage, I got to look through each take of the actor and see
your
which
eyeballs
take.
feel like they're gonna fall out of your head.
I'm tired of watching the film. I've seen the security guard film so many times. My wife doesn't see the film until it's done. She'll hear stuff and she's like, "You put that in the film?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, that headline. She's like, "Dude," I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what I'm gonna do. Don't worry about it."
When I know what you mean when you say you've been staring at the movie for so long.
Oh
you're like,
my
I'm
God.
fucking sick of it.
I'm sick of the fucking movie.
But,
and then after a while, I don't catch the errors because you
just want to get through it.
Well, that's why.
Well, not even that. It's just that sometimes I'm missing stuff, and I have my editor. I'm like, "Are you watching this?" Because he has to look at the film.
Yeah, you need another set of eyeballs.
Yeah, we're both looking at it, but then he'll look at it. He has a big monitor, and he's like, "Dude, I caught all this. I caught that," and then we're still catching stuff. But like, I get it to almost close to perfect where you're not going to recognize. I'm meticulous.
But it's because like I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think Eric might have been touching on this is when we're.
That's the wind.
Is that the rain?
Yeah.
When we were editing, we used to do all our own editing. Now we hired an editor because it was just
it's too much.
I mean, and granted, we're not professional editors. We're just doing. We learned on.
What does he use? Do you know what he uses?
We used to use Movavi.
Use DaVinci. DaVinci's good.
I don't know what he uses,
Yeah,
but
I use
he's
DaVinci
like
for color grade.
You would have to watch the whole. Now we have an hour and a half. Now it's obviously they're not. There's no cutting because it's just raw footage.
It's cutting angles.
But you have to cut the
Yeah,
angles. You have to sync up the audio. If you add text or whatever, and you have to watch the whole episode. And you're watching it over and over and over, and then you have to rewind it, watch it, and like.
Oh yeah.
And after editing the whole thing, I would never watch I still don't really watch our own episodes or listen to them because, in the beginning, you watch it 100 times. You go, I don't want to listen to it anymore.
Right, you're sick of it.
But now, like we have an editor, I still don't really watch my own stuff because I created it, so I know what we talked about, and it's not for me; it's for everybody else to enjoy it.
Right.
Like that's why we do this, is so that people can enjoy and can relate. And like if there's people that are big into movies and big into producing, and they're security guards or ex-NYPDs, or like they can relate. This is why we do this stuff. I don't do it for we enjoy it. I love this. This is a passion of ours.
It's therapy. It really is.
And
it's therapy.
like you had said, it's something that you're absolutely so passionate about, and we love doing this. But we do it for the people. Like we do it for the viewers because they enjoy. They can relate. But yeah, when you start editing your own stuff, you're like.
I've been there so
many
many
times. You
times.
probably don't even want to watch a movie at the end of it.
No.
I've seen it
so many times. Yeah. I'm like, mother. And I used to do it without headphones. And when I used to live in my 500 square foot apartment, I would edit it. And my wife was like, "Can you shut that off?" Because I'd be like, "Yeah, what about this? Yeah, what about this? Yeah, what about this?"
My wife doesn't even get involved.
Oh, when
She's
you do
like,
when you do a reel and you have the music on the reel, and you're trying to, so like we'll do audio like whatever.
You're sick of the song, right?
And you oh my gosh, my wife's like, "Turn it down, please."
No, for sure.
Like I heard the same song over and over again.
That's funny.
But anyway. So
That
we're
is
at
funny.
an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, we're coming to the end here.
I don't know. Did it feel like an hour and 42 minutes?
No.
Yeah, it breezes by.
It does go by pretty fast, man.
That was good.
So no pun intended. We're getting to the end of the podcast here. You're already getting the red carpet next Thursday, but at this point of the podcast, we like to give you the red carpet to the people that are watching and listening to kind of just plug away. We've been talking about a lot about the stuff that you do, but where people can find you on social media, the new projects that are coming out, where they can find you to watch all your movies, just like a kind of like a shameless plug to go off.
You want me to look into the camera?
No, it doesn't matter.
You can go. You can look in the camera. You can talk to me. Talk to him.
So you can catch me on. If you Google me, I come up as a public figure. Wilfred LaSalle, WILFRED LA space SALLE, or you can look me up on my website, Salle Productions. The next film moving forward is The Veteran, which will be filming in 2025. We're going to start filming May. We'll wrap in November, and that will debut next year, along with the Lucy trailer, the first trailer for Lucy, which is about autism. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to revolutionize independent filmmaking. I'll leave you with a good quote. Maybe you'll like this one.
Let's go.
It's great to stand out, but it's even greater to be outstanding.
Bang.
Ooh.
Like it. That's a great way to end
It's great to stand out, but it's even better to be outstanding.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I
That's
like,
it.
I like the W and L's. The
W's and L's.
Yes.
I love it, man. Well, we appreciate you, Will, for being
Thank
on
you
the
for
show,
having me.
for
Thank you,
driving
man.
out here. Listen, everybody, check him out, LaSalleProductions.com. What's your Instagram? You have an Instagram?
LaSalle and LaSalle Productions. It's all underscores, but if you look me up, you type in my full name, it'll
Just
come
type in, Wilfred LaSalle, space, space Sal. And check him out, okay? And be on the lookout for the film The Security Guard. Be on the lookout for The Veteran. Be on the lookout for Lucy.
My favorite Spanish teacher was Miss LaSalle. Spelled the
LaSalle.
same way, too.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So, but we appreciate you guys. We hope you enjoyed that. We hope you enjoyed listening and watching. And wherever you are, give us the highest rating. Check out Will and on all his stuff, and go to all his links and everything. We'll put them in the description. But we love you guys. We appreciate you. And Eric, we have water. We can't touch the glasses, but send us.
We like to say on this episode, Will, thank you again for coming on, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
And cheers, chin chin, and salud.